Well, good evening and welcome, fellow babies. How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? Friday night pub chat with the Shills. We got a great group, and we're going to get right to it. So, Aimee, who's here and what's everybody up to? Why don't you take it over for me?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pub Chat. I'm sitting here all fat and happy because I got a great big fat milkshake in my hand. I'm all set. So let's get right around this room and see who's here with us. And we've got someone who, yay, he's back again. It's AB Science. AB, how are you tonight?
Well, I'm not quite back, but happy to be here and everything. So, yeah, smashing.
Awesome. Good to have you. Alrighty, so next up we have DKG Custom. DKG, how are you this evening?
Oh, hello. I'm not going to mention my M1 Max through this. I'm not going to mention it. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm still getting to that, level of zen. I'm trying to figure out that if I do achieve sucking off my own cock, does that make me gay?
For the love of God.
well, PJC there will be able to help us out with that answer. So, yeah. Let's move on, quick.
Sounds like a plan. All right. Next up, we have Mipet 69. Mipet, how are you this evening?
I want to know why I always have to go after DK.
Somebody's got to clean up.
Sorry, it's the tile arrangement I have.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thanks, guys. The old body's protesting a bit today because I had the day with the grandchildren yesterday afternoon, and
excellent.
Boy, they just never stop, But yeah, had loads of fun. It was great.
Excellent.
So looking forward to a bit of relaxation and stupid tonight.
Yes. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
sure we'll
there's some
really
interesting stuff going on in the world. So yay.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. All righty. And next up, we have Loki Fish Mars. Loki Fish, how are you this evening?
Good. Turning myself into a fish and ready for the fun.
Excellent.
Been doing a little bit of work here and there and ready to relax.
Awesome. That's good. That's good news to hear. And last but not least, we have Dick Dawson. Dick, how are you this evening?
Excellent. It's one of those days where everything in the world makes perfect sense. So I know in saying that something's going to come crashing down around me, but it was great while it lasted.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, chilling out at home, had a good day. Formula One, practice 2 was excellent watching. They're on the Moto GP circuit in Qatar. So it's pretty cool. And can't wait for the race coming up. But yeah, living the dream, not sarcastically.
Awesome.
Talking of which, we should say hello to the least but not least, Sarcastic Barman, who seems to be having technical difficulties. He was with us. He might come back.
Hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Come back, barman, please.
Please.
And Aimee, how are you?
I am doing fairly well, thank you. Hanging in there. We've, things are looking up this week, I think. Well, next week is a good eating holiday, so that's one of my favorites. So we have American Thanksgiving on Thursday, so yum. So Matt and I are looking forward to that because he's got a hollow leg, and I'm just like,
what do you mean? Wait. What do you mean American Thanksgiving?
well,
Are there other others?
Yes, there are Canadian ones.
Really?
Canada has theirs in October.
Do they do differently?
Yeah.
Thank God we're not fucking American. Is that what they do?
Yeah, because I don't like the placement. It's always in the like smack in between Halloween and Christmas, and it's kind of like a weird spot. But I know I like theirs because it's warmer.
Yeah,
I think Thanksgiving is just like a practice run for Christmas dinner.
Yes.
Well, the reason Canadians do Thanksgiving early is so when everybody gets into a drunken argument and you kick your relatives out, it's not so cold when they have to get into their car and go home.
Right, because October can still be pretty temperate, compared to November, getting towards the end, towards December. It gets kind of cold.
Well, isn't that so that you can go, well, fuck you, I'm not coming to you at Christmas. Don't expect gifts from me, asshole. Isn't that what Thanksgiving's all about?
Yeah, it's a money
I got
saver.
it mixed up. Yeah, exactly. That's it, Dick, money saver.
Hey, Mipet, do you have like a Thanksgiving in Australia? Like, thank fuck we're not pommies anymore.
Yeah, we that's
Every day.
Australia Day. Yeah, pretty
Oh.
much. Yeah, where we celebrate. Yay, the convicts! Oh, we happen to come
we stole
into
all the
Australia. It's like, woo! Yeah, keep the assholes out. Because all our convicts are here. Yeah.
That's why you haven't invited me round.
Yeah, you're not a good enough convict.
Yeah.
There we go. And if I may just jump in real fast, I just got a little something here. We've got from High Plains Drafter for $2.22 American. Says enthusiastically stupid, a propose term for flatties. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. I like it.
I like that too. Actually, there was a super chat that came in during the whole start of the show too, and it was High Plains Drafter as well. It was $2.34. Keep up the good work, you rational-minded folks.
Thank you so much. That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
indeed. I figured I'd grab that because I knew I had it saved already in the background.
He must have been talking about the people on that stream last night, so not us here. So
yeah. So anybody have any odd encounters out in the Discords or see anything crazy on the YouTubes and whatnot this week? We always seem to open with stories of woo and face palming and all that crap.
I did, and I wish I took notes because now I can't remember. So next.
Well, I had someone trying to convince people earlier. Trying to convince people that sound was actually photons propagating through space, and therefore it is the same as magnetism because photons propagating through space, electromagnetism, therefore everything is ferromagnetic. And somehow vaccines.
Didn't
That hurts.
Didn't JM Truth touch on this about photons being noisy at some point?
Well, photons are noisy little motherfuckers, but
I can tell you this. I went to audio engineering school for 2 years, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that microphones work in the dark. They just do.
funnily enough, they kind of work, and yeah.
Lots of things work in the dark.
I just to highlight it that that's not how physics works, and it comes back with a bullshit Einstein quote, which Einstein never said and was bastardized. So I'm excited to see what happens, because I'm in a position where I don't get much joy in life writing this massive body of work at the moment. So the occasional dumbass on Twitter entertains me.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I haven't done Twitter in months now, because the argumentative side of it was just getting to be too much again. And but I'm going to go back on soon and just continue with the fun side of it, and just never
it's
mind
not getting any
the
better,
morons.
especially today. It's not a good place to be.
No, not today.
No, not today.
No.
It is not going to be a good place in the next couple of weeks, to be honest.
No.
What's happening?
Oh, do we want to go into this?
I think we're better after
start.
the super chat.
Sure, we might just as well.
So we've just had the Carl Rittenhouse verdict come in. And the
Really,
verdict
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, the verdict is that he is guilty. That he is not guilty on any of the charges
Correct.
that he was presented. I know that's really shocking.
I think you need to do a back. I think you need to do a after this super chat, AB. I think you need to do a backstory for anybody who hasn't seen it.
Oh yes, we'll definitely do that.
Okay, so who wants to do the backstory on Carl Rittenhouse?
Super chat.
Well, let's get super chat. Chat.
Yes, please. Sure. We've got Rodent No Last Name for $5 American says, y'all need Jeebus crabbers, a fire butt insect orbiting Saturn, a real video. Well, real parody video. Look it up. Thank you so
I
much,
have to
Rodent.
see
That's
that.
funny. I know.
Sounds good.
Send link.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So AB, give us the backstory on this guy.
Well,
I know about it, but I don't really haven't looked into it.
So the backstory, it's in fairness, I can't give the backstory the proper credit that it deserves in this format. I need to kind of there's just I'm doing this on the fly.
Fluff it.
So we have Carl Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old kid who, during the BLM protests last year, went into Kenosha, and that's a different state from where he lived, and he grabbed an AR-15 to try and protect local businesses during the BLM protests. He got in a kerfuffle. That got heated. And for all intents and purposes, he ended up in a situation where gunfire was exchanged. At this point, there was the general perception that there was an active shooter, and a few people tried to, under that impression, try to disarm him, and several people got shot Now, it is a very, very complicated situation. What happened in moment to moment, I can't properly describe it because I can't put myself into the position of the people who were shot. I don't know what their mindset was. And in fairness, we don't know what Kyle's mindset was at the time. It is a really messy situation. Now, there are two camps in the there are two camps in this situation. There's one camp saying he murdered these people, he crossed state lines, picked up a gun, and he tried to police a situation, which was not his right to do. In addition, he was underage, carrying a rifle around past the state-imposed curfew. But then there is also the other side that in the moment, the people he shot did assault him if you take his perspective. And one of the issues is, I think that many of the views, whether you are on the pro-Carl Rittenhouse or the anti-Carl Rittenhouse camp, I think many of them are valid. And that's where you end up in a really messy situation. Now, should he have been acquitted on all counts? I honestly don't think so. But then again, I'm not an expert in the matter, and that's just my speculation, and that's my moral judgment on that subject. There are certainly some of the charges that were presented. You were like, okay, it clearly wasn't murder in the first degree, right? That's fine. I can accept that.
It's not premeditated murder.
Yeah, because It's not premeditated. He didn't. Yeah, but reckless endangerment and all of those things were like, well, yeah, there's a very good case of that. And some of the defenses were, oh yes, I was there to provide help and I was there to provide first aid. But if I'm not a paramedic or anything, but I did train as an EMT, and you don't bring a gun to a situation if you are going to provide EMT.
I was going to ask you that. Do you carry a gun with you when you're an ambulance driver?
You can use it as a tourniquet, I guess.
So
Sorry.
So. And it's my judgment on the situation is that we have a very dumb kid who was indoctrinated by very dumb bullshit, who put himself in a situation where his presence rendered the situation to be, well, dangerous just by virtue of his presence. But if and I'll sit there in defense of one side of the kind of camp on the conversation. It's like, yeah, he's a kid that shouldn't have been there, and it is very clear that he was out there looking for a fight. Well, no, he wasn't out there looking for a fight. He was out there looking to be the big man. He wasn't out there looking for a fight. I honestly think he was out there trying to look, patrol around with his gun, look like a big man, and scare people.
Yeah.
He wasn't out there to shoot people. He wasn't out, and I can accept that. So he was a very dumb kid put in a certain, very dumb situation, and he did a dumb thing, and he was reckless. So
the way I understand Canadian law, it would have been manslaughter for sure.
Yeah. But that's the other thing, right? And that's a later point, because because firstly, I want to go to the other side, saying, "Oh, he was acting in self-defense." Blah blah blah. Well, actually, no. He put himself in a situation where he had to defend himself. But on the other hand, there is some validity to the self-defense argument. And one of the things that's been infuriating me about the conversation on Twitter and why Twitter is so fucking toxic, it's I'm very happy to take a very one-sided position on stuff, but I don't think that quite warrants it in this situation. There's a lot more nuance in here.
It's also seems to be becoming very political.
Well,
it's
yes,
there's a lot of left and right in the arguments, which to me has nothing to do with it.
Exactly, very polarizing. It's a very polarizing situation.
And because that's the other thing. Because it is also because we also have the racism issue there. It's like, well, he was white. The people who were shot were white, so it's not racism. Right? It's like, well, no, actually, you have to view it in the context of when it happened, and then you go, hold on, there is an issue here. Right. It just becomes so complicated, and
it's hugely complicated. It's a very complicated situation, and I did watch the trial, and I watched the videos that were in evidence during the trial too, and it's such a tough, hazy thing, and a lot of gun rights advocates were on one side, and the ones that want to control, or on the other side of the gun issue were also polarizing it. But there was a lot going on in that video that night, and to me as a mother watching that, knowing how teenagers are, so I was coming from it from that perspective when I was arguing about it on, in Jem's server, and we were talking about that, and I was like, well, I'd kick his butt for going there that night. Yeah, because 17, I'm still responsible for this minor, and
there's so many other issues because because there is a component to like there are certain charges where you're like, well, actually, according to the law, it is the correct verdict, but the problem is the law, right? Because you can do things according to the law, and that would still be wrong.
Well, yes, because legal and moral can actually be two completely widely separate things. So so you can you can do something legal, but you could still be so wrong in doing it, and it's.
Well, that's the other side, because you've got little Mark fucking Zuckerberg saying with his T-shirt, I can be unethical, but I don't have to break the law and stuff like that. So you have to view it from that as well. It's like there's a massive problem there, and I mean, I will not mince any words and say that Carl Rittenhouse is a little shit, right?
Yes,
he's a little shit, and.
Oh, fucking cum nugget.
But you're missing the important point. At least the Twitterverse is going to sort it out, and we are going to move forward as a civilization, knowing the knowledge that we've learned from the people discussing this in an adult and educated way on Twitter, and we will become better informed, and we will become better people. Surely not. Sure. Oh, by the way, Aimee, we need to say hello to the sarcastic barman. He's sitting in the background.
Is he back?
I think so.
We have you here.
You are. You're here. Welcome, sarcastic barman.
Am I loud enough? I'm using a little USB mic. My mixer's died.
That sucks. No. Yeah, we can hear you good, buddy.
Awesome.
You sound good.
You're gonna love this one, guys. pajama pants. They want to disarm the US population so they're easier to control. So excuses
Oh dear God.
to do just that will keep happening. Very convenient. No.
Are you kidding?
No.
Gun control is not about disarming the US population so they're easy to control. If you want to control them, you just put them all in church.
That's like that. He just insulted all of Canada in saying that. He just called us mindless tools. Like, fuck, come on, dude.
No.
He knows you well.
Yeah, fuck off.
Exactly. And anyone here in the United States who wants sensible gun control only just wants to close up some loopholes in in the background checks things and to make sure that they stay out of the try to keep
off the
as much as
streets,
possible out of
out
the
the
wrong hands, the people who aren't supposed to have them. That's all. I mean, and I'm pretty damn liberal, and I'll admit it. And I don't care who knows. I'm too old to care anymore. So fuck you if you don't like it. But, see, that's right. Matt's right. Did you hear that?
The thing is, it's not about controlling the people. If you want to control the people, there are so many easier ways to do it.
Well, that's exactly it. And that's the thing. There are so many different ways you can do it. Scenes. No, I'm just kidding.
My problem with PJ pajama pants comment is they've been coming to take our guns for how many decades now? Let me look.
Oh, God.
No, all my guns are still here.
Yeah.
So when?
Yeah, my landlord's guns are still there.
Yeah, it's one of those every time. It's like, yeah, they're coming to take your guns. They're coming to take your guns. No.
It's not as if even in like other countries like the UK, if you want to get hold of a gun, you can get a gun legally. You can get a shotgun. You just got to have a reason to do it. So either owning a small holding or an actual farm. And my dad had a small holding. The police officer came out to see him, to chat to him. He had to have a full doctor's note and things like that to make sure, is this person healthy? And does the policeman think he's safe to have a gun? Yes and yes. Brilliant. He got a shotgun license. How difficult is that?
Yeah.
Have you got a license for that gun? I have for this one.
Oh, great film.
Did you see it in the news on the BBC that there was a COVID denier in Britain and his brother they ordered a gun from the US using Bitcoin. And it got intercepted by US authorities, and they sent a dummy over, and they had a microphone inside the box. So when they opened the box, they go, "Oh, this is cool. We should get another one." And the doors get kicked in. Right, you're next. Just like fucking COVID deniers. They wanted to have a gun. Just go out and be fucking arseholes. They wanted to use it in some way. We don't know what.
That's a bit scary, really, isn't it?
It is
scary.
This is where things are coming to. We have. This is why you have flat earthers who say we have to rise up and fight. You talk about the shape of the fucking planet, and you want to go out and kill and shoot people. You fucking morons. Just like FGFE and Jake the Arsehole. Jake the Arsehole wants to fight him in a ring. It's like, can you imagine how if that's how science was done?
Yeah.
I mean,
in the left wing.
what's Jake the arsehole? What's Jake the arsehole trying to achieve? Is he going to be a big man on challenging a disabled man to a fight?
He just wants more views. That's all he cares about. It's just his YouTube channel. That's all he's fucking doing. He's a YouTuber.
Look at the
He's not a
arsehole
scientist.
name. He's an arsehole, so that's his name. It's perfect.
To be honest, I'm going to be fair, right?
You go on.
Scientific
Hold on.
conferences.
Sorry, AB, 1 second here. Devil's advocate in the chat. # research by combat.
I have.
Sorry, buddy.
I have witnessed conferences where it may as well have been researched by combat. I have been situations, but it's not. It's not about the science, of course. It's just because someone is being a dick.
Yeah.
But you know, the fun thing is about because we will do that because you know we will hash it out, and if you're in a field like mine where things can get really competitive, really quite aggressive. You know, words can be exchanged, but there is the understanding is that at the end of the day in the conference, you know, we'll have our keynote speaker at the end of the night, and then we'll go down the pub, and one person calling the other person a cunt will half an hour later be, you know, they'll be drinking together.
Yeah, but also at the same time, they'll be shouting at each other saying, "I'm going to write a paper. I'm going to paper your ass off."
Pretty much.
It's going to be a peer-reviewed paper, so fuck you, you cunt. You know, it's just, that's how science is. They can be just as aggressive, but they still do it the right way in the end.
Well, I'd like to say that's true, but no. The right way is.
Hey, are you a shill or what? Come on, guys. Hey, shh, don't tell people this.
One of my big things is about properly explaining how the scientific process works, right? And academia is.
I know how it works. You go to the shop, you get yourself a little model, maybe a Spitfire or something. You put it together, and you go, "There's my fucking model." Right? Isn't that what everybody's up to?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we have like the pro science camp will have their idealized view of how science is supposed to work, and it fucking doesn't work that way. But then you have the anti-science camp who will make these accusations and say, "Oh, this is the problem with mainstream science." It's like, well, no, it isn't. If you actually understood the problems, then you'd find that it is far more problematic than you think, but also completely invalidates any of your nonsense.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's another side to this too. I think that didn't get touched upon. Like, you know, look at some of the theories that were proposed and, you know, were eventually accepted and are now like, you know, just commonplace within certain areas. So like, let's take like Guth with the theory of inflation. You know, he's a younger guy. He's not like, you know, some dude in his 50s when he proposes the theory and whatnot. There's got to be a little bit of balls, gumption, and ego in there as well to be able to step up and say, "Here, you're all wrong."
Well, there's an issue. There is a very valid point there. It's like most scientific innovations. Kind of most people who come up with the big innovations either come up with them at the start of their career when they've got lots to prove, or they kind of develop in a later career when they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And that becomes, you know, that is quite important. But I think what we have to remember is that we have lots of the because I'm now really kind of interested in the electric universe crowd, and they're talking about mainstream science is evil, blah 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 blah. Mainstream science, Einstein this, Einstein that. We have to remember that Einstein was the outsider. He was a patent clerk who couldn't get a job at the university, couldn't get a job in the mainstream. and he came up with all of these ideas. And it was all the people like Nikola Tesla, who were in the mainstream and who were very well respected, who rejected the ideas that Einstein posited. But we have all this electric universe crowd who's saying like, "Oh, Tesla is so impressive," going against the mainstream. It's like, "Oh, no. Firstly,
take heed, flat earthers. You can break through if you've got something that's not fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, I don't remember who said what that reminded me of this, but we have an edit of the intro theme for PubChat. I should have fucking used it tonight. And Loki did this really cool little rant and recorded it. And I dubbed it in over the music. And then the music slowly builds as he's ranting. And then it kicks in full when he's done for a bit. And then the show starts. And what do you guys think? What?
You forgot to put it in.
No, I wasn't sure if I should or not. I was kind of debating it. And so let's ask everybody watching. So put 1 in the chat if you want to hear that next time. And if you don't, well, just shut your mouth.
How about you just play it now?
I will verbally say.
Good.
Yeah, put it in, definitely. I think
should I just...
No, wait. If you put it in now, people have got nothing to make sure they're on time for tomorrow to be there ready for the intro.
Exactly.
Oh,
don't
okay.
Don't spew the gooch.
I'm sorry, democracy and everything. Come on.
No money shot right now. Save it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we'll throw it in for Shill's intro tomorrow, and we'll see what everybody's thinking here. All right. Yeah, lots of ones too. So we're doing it. All right.
Oh, and on that subject, I found out the other day why it's called the money shot. But you probably don't want to talk about that, so I'll leave it there.
Well, we can't do that on YouTube.
That's a bit.
Yeah. Sounds like that old TV show I remember from when I was young. You can't do that on television.
Well, the short.
Oh God,
you want to hear that? Basically, you didn't.
It's quite short where you were your knees.
You didn't get paid as a male porn star unless you ejaculated at the end of it. So that was why it was called the money shot.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
Really, but
no, I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I know. You sarcastic bastard.
Yeah. I could really have gone the rest of my life without knowing that, and I would have been fine. But
at least you can't say you don't learn facts on the Shills. There you go.
That's true. Yeah. They're just, ones that are always a little out there.
Well, that's why we had the education in our name when we were the I Network, remember?
Yeah.
Information and entertainment. There we go.
I think we mixed entertainment and education there a little too deep. Sure.
I think we were a bit too ambitious when we first came up with the idea.
I think what Dick is trying to say, Aimee, is sometimes there's too much information.
Yeah.
Definitely TMI.
Well, yeah. Sometimes that does happen. Barman, you missed the "What Stupid Have You Seen" part we were doing earlier there. What stupid have you seen?
Oh, good God. Well, I was going to do a video the other night on some guy, Faded Soldier Boy or something like that. Fucking hell, he is. Wow. I've never heard anyone use the word bro so many times.
Oh.
Be all grey, obviously getting a bit older. He's been doing YouTube for like 15 years by the look of it. But he's gone from like normal looking, all grey, and then still saying, oh, all these old people. I'm like, what the fuck? I know you've heard about all the nerds.
Hold on, sorry.
who are teaching.
I just have to ask. His channel name is Faded Soldier Boy.
Something like that.
So is this actually Soldier Boy who has,
Yeah.
he is faded in relevance?
No, unfortunately not, because that would have been more amusing. He's a Bible guy who's going on about evolution is false and things like that. But he was also saying, yeah, all these college nerds all these college professors are all just dweebs. Thinking,
What?
Who the fuck uses the word dweebs?
Could it be faded? Could it be faded holy soldier?
That sounds right. I'd have to pull up the other account to find it because it's on my other one.
So all these college professors are dweebs. Is he like driving like a low rider, like piss yellow Ford Model T, kind of like coupe? It's kind of. Oh God, the old dweeb.
I found him. There he is. Faded Holy Soldier. That was the one. You're right, Dick.
Yeah, there's a video here. The history books are a lie. Monkey chicken evolution garbage.
Yeah. I think the one I was looking at is actually the one I'm looking at. I love the title after it. Grandma and midget porn. Can we put it's only 2 minutes. Do you think we can pull that up?
I want monkey chickens.
You can't make this shit up, man. Holy fuck. Okay, let me see if I can get this. Yeah, here, I got Stink Nugget. Here, I got it. Hold on. Let me get this. There. Okay.
Hey, Barman, are you gonna put monkey chickens on your menu?
I don't think so. Not yet, anyway.
I think it sounds great. I want them deep fried monkey chickens.
Okay, I got this all set up here. Hold on, let me just make sure the audio is going to feed through to everybody. Okay, so this is a video by an unbelievable idiot, and it's called Grandma and Midget Porn. Shit you not.
Oh,
Here we go. Oh, fuck.
What's up, broski? I want to talk about grandmother porn and midget porn. When it comes to grandmother porn, I guess there's a big market for that. A lot of people like seeing very old ladies get pounded. But me personally, I'm not a fan of grandmother porn, broski, because it looks like the bitch is being violated. All right. Just doesn't go to me.
It's like the bitch is being violated.
Did he just fucking say that?
I just have to ask whether has he gone and watched a load of grandma porn just so he can, say, yeah, they definitely look violated. I better watch another 3 or 4 times just to make sure.
I'll watch this again just to make sure. Yes, just to make sure that the bitch is being violated.
Fucking hell.
Thanks for the headphone warning.
He'll get through them all and go, wait, that's my grandma. I'll still do it though.
Use the word broski as well. That is wow.
I mean,
This guy's a real piece of work, man. Wow.
Yeah, he's using the word broski. It's like, if you're a fuckboy, right? Even if you're a fuckboy, you don't casually throw in broski. You understand that is a silly phrase that you throw at the end of you want to go and grab some brewskis, broski, that kind of shit, right? You're being silly when you're using that phrase, even if you're a fuckboy.
Broski is an incel yogurt.
No, that's a broskier.
Oh God, he's looking at other ones. We should all be scared.
Yeah. No, I'm just putting his channel link in the chat for anybody that wants to see it. Should I play a bit more of this fucking, that's not gray hair in his beard. It's just he hasn't washed out the cum stains. Here we go.
Grandmother porn is, I don't know, maybe some of these women, bro, they're just on their last legs. There's not much they can do, and that's their final option to pay the bills. All right. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna judge. All right, they gotta do what they gotta do to put food on the table. Great.
I am judging. I am judging so hard.
For some of these women who get
I'm judging so hard.
after not having attention given to them over the years, they finally find this outlet, this market where, hey,
Daddy.
people pay lots of money to see grandma get her fucking vagina beat up.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Midget porn,
Christ.
right? Because there are some hot midgets out there, hot
And
midget
this is the hill he
steaks.
wants to die on.
It's got king hot midgets. Oh, yeah. Give me that sexy midgets. Oh, yeah. I want to see a midget fucking a granny.
Well, we've missed the important one here. Is he going to talk about grandma midgets?
Or hot
Oh,
grandma
no.
midgets.
Oh, baby, give me some solid grandma midgets.
Hey, B, put it in your pants. Jesus Christ.
I think there's something critical. I think there's something critical that we overlooked. This is a nut job who's actually done his research.
Although, having said that, I've got to say that's the worst Max Headroom set I've ever seen.
That's just
Oh,
terrible.
man.
This is your
That's
fault,
wild.
Barman. It's your fault, Barman.
Well, it is, but I never clicked on the grandma and midget porn video until Dick sort of saw it now.
You're now searching grandma midget porn.
Oh God, no!
I'm not putting that in the title of this fucking video. There's no way.
It's too late. It's already in there.
Do it in incognito, in incognito settings on Safari.
Yes, you have to remember that all of us are managers to the channel, right? So,
Uh-oh.
Midget grandma porn. Oh.
I know we can't put the word porn in.
Yeah.
Put grandma.
Oh, cuz pounding. I mean, what? This is just some fucked up shit, man. Who makes a video about this?
People
I
who
think
use the word broski.
The thing is, I'm not going to be judgmental, but what is wrong with grandma wanting to be a porn star as opposed to an 18-year-old hottie? I mean, why should she not be allowed to be a porn star?
oh yeah, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, right? Sex work can be very liberating for a lot of people.
As you know.
So why should that be denied based on your age?
Yeah.
And as we are all aware that any type of pornography or erotica, there's a market for that on the internet. I mean, there's a rule.
I mean, I've seen you on my OnlyFans channel. Where you just got the girls saying, "Talk science to me, talk science."
Oh yeah, but
Bend my space time.
Oh yeah, I mean they love it when I talk about
Find my Lagrange point.
I had a really good one.
That's what the G spot is, the Lagrange point.
I'll use my magnetic force.
Oh my God.
Ka-ching.
Oh, Amy, save us.
I have to try. I don't know. I was just thinking the grandma midget porn together, and then PJ CNET said that this is horrendous. I just lost it. I'm sorry. So I have to. I've recovered now. I think I've gathered myself up here. So we got Road No Last Name for $5 American. Says movie Orgasmo DVD-A it's the only way I can stay in the industry.
Hey, that's a class movie. But
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
So there is something I have to highlight about my OnlyFans account, right?
No, wait about the super chat. What's DVDA?
I don't know.
I think it's a typo.
It could be.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Aimee, carry on.
So there's something I have to mention about my OnlyFans account. It's because I'm writing some stuff at the moment. I'm writing my thesis and writing a few book chapters. So there's a particularly important geometry. We're studying the magnetism. We're studying in the context of magnetism and some clever shit around it. But when we cast that geometry in the right perspective with the camera and look at it from the right angle, which just so happens to be the best angle to examine things from, all the images we generate, they end up looking like dicks.
Dicks.
Just dicks. So the actual physical experimental geometries, they literally look like cock and balls. And the simulation geometries look like silver bullets. So yeah. That's for my OnlyFans account.
That's
Aimee.
Yes, we have to introduce. We have Big Blue with us tonight. How are you, Big Blue?
Hey, Aimee. Doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Doing awesome, thank you. Good to see you.
Well,
it's good to see
yeah.
you. Good DK. Aimee. It's been a long time, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You are joining at the time when we're talking about granny porn, so
I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, I don't believe in that shit. Come on.
And he's about to go on to midget porn, so this is going to get really weird. But there's only a minute left, so I mean, where can he really go?
Well, give him a try.
So, should I just click it back in and hang on, Blue? This guy's fucking crazy, man. Here we go.
Give me some. I've never had experience with a midget skank, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Right?
Oh, he's admitting it
midget
now.
chicks, bro.
Okay. A midget skank is on his bucket list. Did you fucking hear that?
Hey, look, right? Fine. It's a thing. Fine. I have absolutely zero issues with that. That is perfectly fine. Move on.
That's right.
Is his bucket list a bucket full of ramen noodle instead of buying a fleshlight?
I have just thought one thing though. With AB Science being in the room, because he's so tall, AB, are we all just midgets to you?
Yeah.
Well, I fucked this girl once.
Jesus.
This one time at band camp.
This one time at band camp. No, I did a show in London, and it was quite weird because she was like 5 foot tall or something like that. Not much more than 5 foot tall. It was a little bit awkward, I'm gonna have to say.
Just out of curiosity.
No, AB Science is a giant.
Yeah. What was that, Blue?
Just out of curiosity, I wonder what the next thing on his bucket list was.
Oh God!
I want to see some dolphin porn. They just have swimming with dolphins.
Yeah. Can you?
I want to fuck a dolphin.
Can you imagine the poor kid at SeaWorld? Oh my God, Flipper!
Right in the blowhole. Oh, you dirty little bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Come on, kids. Gotta go. Get a card. Quick.
A quick one from chat. NTS, not today suicide, just put, not to be PC, but midget is actually really offensive. So no, LP, which I'm guessing is little people, would sleep with him. So no,
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, in fairness, that there's something we overlooked, but I think contextually we get away.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're only repeating his thing here. It's not like any one of us would have come out and started talking like this, and everybody watching us knows that, right? So it's not a big deal. I'm not even concerned. You know, come on.
You forgot I'm here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and let's be fair. We originally, if we'd have had this subject, we wouldn't have said midgets. We would have said fucking short bastards.
Or the Welsh.
Yeah.
Or the Welsh. Car building maniacs.
Sure.
Okay, should I kick in a bit more of this fucking moron? We're almost it's one yeah, we're really close. It's only like a minute 10.
What DVDA stands for.
Oh, what?
Oh God, really?
Double vaginal, double anal.
Oh, what the
fuck? Okay, hold on. Let me scroll back and put that super chat back on the screen because it has a whole new meaning now.
I don't understand why I didn't know that.
Okay, I'm going to play the dummy.
That's why I was so calm. You know?
Yeah. But there's just something about the little people as well. I just want to highlight in context of that comment. It's because he's calling it a fetish. And that's kind of why I thought we were a little bit in the clear. Like, we're obviously taking a piss out of him because being attracted to a little person, that's not a fetish, right? It's just a normal thing. You come across someone who you find attractive, you find them attractive.
Well,
that's not fetish.
Well, no, it's a fetish if if that's the only category of person you find attractive.
Yeah, I suppose there's a valid point in there, but I mean, is that you know, where do you draw the line between it being a fetish and being a type?
Well, do we have to label everything? Just get in there and enjoy, right? But you know, yeah, right. You know, I mean, have at it, man. You know, as long as everybody's in agreement, and you know, now there's too many clauses and stuff. So I'm going to stop, and I'm going to play.
The funny thing is, we can fall in love with the person because we love the person, we love their soul. When porn is involved, you're not picking it because I love the soul of that person.
Good point.
No, it's because you love the arsehole of that person.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I like all her
job. Should we?
Yeah.
Speaking of,
just get on with
Either
it.
press play or move subjects, one of the two.
Yeah, let's let the anal hole
As
speak
long
here.
as they're of legal age and you're doing your thing with them, hey, you can create whatever crazy fantasy in your head you want with these midget chicks. All right. Let's face it, at the end of the day, these people that are into midgets and grandmothers, they have some something about it that I guess drives their cock hard or something. But hey, it is what it is, all right, broski? All right?
Broski?
But yeah, I'm not trying to promote anything illegal here, but just make sure it's legal. All right? Don't be getting involved into shit that'll get you in trouble. All right? Anyways, that's what I think about midget porn and grandmother porn. Midget porn, it's okay, all right, but
Jesus Christ,
you know, nowadays it's I guess me, I don't know too many midgets at all. It's very rare to see a midget girl anyway. You may see them. I don't know where did the midgets go? I don't see as many
for
midgets
fuck's
as I
sakes, this guy.
Oh my God, I'm just sitting here cringing.
To make porn.
Yeah,
he's struggling to figure out what his point is.
I feel like he doesn't actually have a point, does it? He's just like, I'm doing a video on this because it's going to get views. No, it's not.
Yeah, because there's such a thing as grandmother porn and little people porn.
I think
I'm talking about grandmother midget porn. Just like to say, M2M has turned up.
Fitting.
He mentioned midget porn. Who mentioned midget porn? I had to
He
go on
fucking
there.
loves it. He fucking loves it.
It's grandmother midget porn.
No, I'm going to stand up for M2M here. It's not grandmother porn he likes or even midget porn he likes. He loves grandmother midgets.
Who
And
doesn't?
if I-
A whole one.
You know?
And we need to introduce M2M. Welcome, M2M. Good evening. Good to
Oh,
see
good evening.
you.
Sorry for my tardiness. I've been dealing with minor family issues, shall I say, but nothing I couldn't handle. Nothing but a bit of.
He's got a hot grandma living next door to him.
I think
like banging that midget.
I think Matt, you're going to have to speak to headmaster in the morning.
Okay.
No,
I look forward to that.
he's just waiting for Peter Dinklage or Warwick Davis to age a few more years.
Don't knock a bit of Warwick. Don't knock a bit of Warwick.
I'm not knocking the motherfucker because the guy's great, right? Warwick Davis and Peter Dinklage are fucking awesome.
He seemed to be concentrating on the female species of the midget.
Oh, they're separate species now, are they? What? They can't interbreed?
Don't get scientific on my ass. But you know, he seems. Hold on. Sorry,
we missed a super chat here. Yeah.
Yes, please. Just trying to squeeze in. For $5 American, we have Rodent No Last Name. He says, at my
$5.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
No last name. $5.
Oh, God.
Great.
Jesus.
I'm home during happy hour or bar.
Thank God there's a typo in there.
So I've literally just come on, and this guy's talking about.
We got another one.
Matt sorry.
Stop donating.
Oh, it's okay.
No. Sleepy for $2. So barely legal to make the torn. Little people can be.
There you go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody.
Barely legal grandmas.
So I've literally just turned up and I've got this dude on the screen talking about grandma porn and midget porn. What the fuck is going on? What have I come in?
We have a very, very charming chap who is trying to communicate that, well, there's a thing, grandmother porn and porn involving little people. And he is trying to communicate that, well, it's not my thing, but it's cool. And we can get on board with that. But the reality is,
I want to fuck a little peasant grandmother.
So what's the premise of his discussion? Is he just come on?
There isn't one. There isn't one.
That?
The guy's a fucking moron. There is no premise. He doesn't understand the concept of premise, development, and conclusion.
Right. Yeah. You just come on and just went bleh, and then
precisely because these people don't understand. I mean, I like to talk to my students about the concept called sex, statement, evidence, explanation. He doesn't have that.
So are you saying that he doesn't have a peer-reviewed paper about this concept?
Well, our peer review is trash, but no, he doesn't.
Oh, that one dead, didn't it?
Oh yeah, that went dead. I just said a big no. I just said peer review is trash.
Well, no, that's fine. You got to have an opinion. I actually would have jumped right in, but I was getting my next beer.
Oh,
the peer review comment didn't faze me because I've heard you say that before. So it's
it's fucking trash.
Saying it again,
yeah.
I guess. Well, it would depend on the peers doing the review, but that in and of itself is another argument altogether, right?
Well, okay, so it's a problem with publishing, right? So the state of publishing
now
at the moment.
Now you've got him going, Dick. Now you've got him going.
Yeah, and I am manually gouging my eyes out when I'm talking about this nightmare of a situation, right? So you spend months and months, if not years, doing an investigation, developing an idea, and doing that, and putting it all together into a manuscript. You then submit it to a journal, right? And they get it peer reviewed. And once the reviewers say, well, they've had a look at it, they tell you to go and do another 6 months of work. Then you come back, resubmit, and then fine, you're good to go. Where does the money flow? Because you do all that work, then you pay a magazine, essentially, for the privilege of publishing it, and this can get up to about £2,000. Then you have 2 reviewers who are unpaid reviewing that article, and if they're only a minute late with getting their review back, they get harassed by the journal. And in the meantime, scientific publishing, if you look at publishers like Elsevier, right, that is the whole division of their business that is propping up their failing publishing industry somewhere else. So, but the worst part is that, we do all this work and we pay the journal to publish our work. Then we have reviewers reviewing it for free. And then you yourself review articles for free. And the journals walk away with all the profits. To the extent that journals like Elsevier can use their scientific publishing division to prop up things like their fiction publishing and all of that. It is a fucking broken system. But the real problem comes in with peer review is when you consider the fact that peer review is not a protected term. You can, and anyone in the audience can register a domain name, create a website, and call themselves a peer-reviewed journal.
Oh,
and
for fuck's sakes, really?
There is there's no objective standard to what being peer-reviewed means.
Wow.
I just looked up in TripAdvisor and searched peers, and I've got lots of reviews of peers.
Yeah, precisely.
I mean,
it is more insidious than that because
even if you set this website up, right, that's all well and good, right? Okay, anybody can do that. But the thing is that reviewer or that peer reviewer has got to have a certain amount of credibility to be taken seriously.
No. Because as a journal, you can just say. As a journal, you can say we're a peer-reviewed journal because the reviewers are anonymous.
That's right.
The standard practice, it's anonymous. And now, it's not going to pass muster with the scientific community. But guess what the policymakers, for example, what government is seriously lacking? And that's scientists. So you are then in a position where you have your fake peer-reviewed article you knowingly send to one of those fake journals which claim to be peer-reviewed but are fucking not. And it says on the website that it's peer-reviewed, and then you go to your local policymaker and say, here you go, here's some stuff, it's peer-reviewed. So this is valid science, because there's the other side, and that's the public perception of what peer review means. And that is that, it's peer-reviewed, therefore it's correct. Well, no, that's not what peer review means. Peer review means that the 2 experts in the field failed to find any obvious problems, and they considered the work to be worthy of consideration by the wider scientific community. Doesn't mean that it's correct. But we can go to policymakers and say that, this is peer-reviewed science, this is correct. And because of their limited understanding of science...
Well, that's how you ended up with the lobby in the U.S. that said lead was fine in gasoline.
Precisely. But that's how we are currently in a situation where we have massive organizations such as the Center for Inquiry, or we have the we have the Heartland Foundation, who is funded by Koch Industries, advising scientists, and they have set up their own journals which claim to be peer reviewed, and because they have the resources, they can be properly indexed as well, which are completely trash journals, right? But they can go to policymakers saying, well, climate change is bullshit. Here's the evidence. It's peer reviewed. But if you look at the articles, one of these articles in question literally states that the greenhouse effect is not a thing on Earth because the greenhouse effect requires a glass greenhouse, and there is no glass dome over the Earth.
Oh my God! Oh, it's okay. We got to get Aimee in.
Yes, please. I can't get my thing to unmute. Matt, here you go, babe.
What in toad for $5? This is for Matt. A cleansing super chat, puppies and kittens, hot cocoa and mittens, and this wholesomely that.
So thank you so much. I love it.
Thanks,
Thank
Joe.
you.
That's good.
That's perfect.
Awesome. Barman.
If peer review is this so shitty. Oh, sorry, Barman had his hand up. I was just going to say, if peer review is just so shitty, then why doesn't Flat Earth manage to get peer review papers passed? Anyway, let's go to Barman.
They could. They're just too fucking stupid.
I was just going to ask AB. So, with the glass needing for a greenhouse, that means that it can only work on a flat Earth. So, all flat Earthers should be trying to stop global warming. God damn it!
Well, that's one of my other things about flat Earth, because I've been trying to show, right? They're talking about the barriers and stuff like that, gas escaping into a vacuum. And I've been saying all the time, so actually this doesn't prove a thing. Because if you have a potential energy gradient, then you're going to expect a pressure gradient. Now, because of the fact that it takes effort to lift something up, we can establish that there's a potential energy gradient. And it doesn't actually matter whether the Earth is a sphere or it's flat. The simple observation of the fact that it takes effort to lift something up means that there's no requirement for a dome over the Earth. Whether it's flat or spherical, it doesn't matter. The argument is void.
Yeah. And why couldn't the dome be a spherical dome around a spherical planet?
Well, the issue is that it's an assumed dome that it has not been detected, right? And there is no philosophical reason to posit its existence, because to say that there must be a dome, because pressure, vacuum, all that bullshit, it's an incorrect interpretation of the laws of physics.
Well, as Hawking himself said, and I've said it before on the channel, philosophy's dead.
Well, yeah, the philosophy is dead in a sense, but philosophy of science is still very important, right?
Okay, that's true. That's kind of like
going to say philosophy is dead. Yeah, if you're going to say philosophy is dead, right? We have to remember that logic is an essential part of philosophy, but mathematics is logic. Logic is mathematics. You can't have one without the other. Therefore, philosophy plays a role. Right?
Yeah,
we can't
for sure. Manuel Kant was a real pissant. It was very rare.
It was very rarely stable.
I was making drunk you under the table. David Hume could out-consume Socrates and Hegel, and Wittgenstein was a beery swine. It was just a sloth.
Flagel.
Nietzsche couldn't teach you about the raising of the rays.
So
a lovely little thinker about a bugger with fists.
Don't shoot me on his own feet. Will drink half a bottle.
All right. Oh, I love that tune, though. My son can do a really good job of it, too. He doesn't know half of the people's names he's saying, but he likes the tune. Okay, so in society, there's there's pessimistic attitudes towards things like vaccines and stuff. You know, we're living in it day to day and whatnot. But there's always some people that are doing it for, you know, personal gain, profit, and so on and whatnot. Going back to peer review, Aimee, would there be a situation where somebody uses peer review as a way to, you know, shove somebody aside because they've got a competing thing and they're trying to make sure you see what I'm getting at here?
Well, there's a more nuanced issue when it comes to the issue around COVID-19 at the moment, and this is a question around preprints. Now, a preprint is it's when we write a paper and we upload it to a preprint server, and basically what we're saying is like, well, we did a thing. It's not peer reviewed, right? But we're uploading it there so other people don't scoop us. So it's a way to preemptively settle priority disputes. So I wrote a thing, which is in a very competitive situation where we're all moving towards the same thing, and we uploaded a paper to the preprint to say that, well, if anyone else comes up with it, right, we've got the paper ready, we've got it under review, but if someone else does the same thing a few days later or a few weeks later, submits it for review, but they just happen to have submitted it to a journal which is quicker in their turnaround time, they still can't claim priority. I can still say, no, I was the one that invented that.
Right.
It's like, well, your paper was published first, but you'll find that I submitted it first. And that becomes very important when it comes to intellectual property.
Yes.
The problem is that there's been a drive on getting this, doing all the science and getting the information out there as much as possible. That a lot of stuff around vaccinations and a lot of stuff about mask wearing and everything around the COVID pandemic has been put on these sites and have all been expedited to peer review. But the problem is with preprints is that they're very publicly accessible. Now, I would say that in general, that's a good thing. But when it comes to medical information, that may not be a good thing. And the pandemic is really showing that it's a bad thing because we have, we have media outlets picking this stuff up from the preprints and then running wild with it. Whereas actually, when it goes to peer review, the reviewers point out some very big flaws with the studies, and even the authors will then go, yeah, fair enough. No, that was wrong. Yeah, thanks. And they retract it. But by the time that process is finished, it's already proliferated all over the place. So you get a lot of misinformation, like the ivermectin stuff. There were some serious good faith efforts which appeared to show that ivermectin was beneficial, and that was performed in good faith, and that was put on the preprint servers, and that information spread around the world because it's a hot topic. Whilst the peer review was still being done, and the peer reviewers and the reviewers came back saying, it's like, well, yeah, there's some problems here. And the authors of the paper went, oh yeah, actually, yeah, thanks. There was a shit. But that's too late because that correction doesn't get published. Right? And on top of that, there was a lot of bad faith stuff as well being pushed around ivermectin. But the initial linchpin was just some good faith studies that went wrong.
It's really hard to unring the bell.
Yeah, it's really hard, and I think we've got to be very careful. And I think the pandemic has really showed that we need to reconsider the way we do things, right? Because the archive is kind of it's really useful for people like physicists or stuff like that, where whatever we do, it has no immediate impact on our lives, right? Whatever we do as physicists, it will have an impact, but 10, 20 years down the line, we're not talking about rapid development of vaccines. And this really shows that we need to reconsider that. But there is the other side. When you're talking about charlatans, and that there is a definite example. There are definite examples. If we look at Pierre Robitaille, who is a YouTuber at the moment, but in his defense, he's a very competent engineer, and he is responsible for major advances in MRI imaging techniques. He is a big player. He was a big player in that, but he's expanded out in that, and he's been submitting crackpot papers to a fake journal called Principles in Physics or something like that. I can't remember exactly what. Progress in Physics, I believe it is. And he's been using that to kind of bolster his profile, saying, like, well, here's a thing I wrote on this subject, and it's all pretty niche stuff that his audience won't understand, because if you understand the words that he is saying, then you understand that he's full of shit. It's simple things like, I wouldn't even go into it. But you're in a position where, but he is submitting all these papers to this journal, which claims to be peer reviewed, but it absolutely isn't. But he's using that credibility of being able to claim that he's peer reviewed, and he's repeating that to an audience who doesn't understand the process of peer review and doesn't understand the concept that peer review is not a legally protected term. And then they're suddenly in a position, this guy must be legit. It's a peer-reviewed paper, bloody, 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 blah. But in reality, you're saying, the cosmic background radiation signal that we see, it is actually the oceans, and the spectrum follows the oceans. But the problem is that the telescope is pointing the wrong way. And if that really is the oceans, then the oceans would need to be at a temperature of 3 Kelvin.
So, Aimee, 1 second here. We got to get Aimee in.
Sure. We've got Rodent No Last Name for $5 American says, how does the FE dome connect to the Antarctic? Is it a big rubber seal? How does it rotate? Sealed ball bearings? Those are very good questions. Thank you very much.
Actually, Rodent, I can answer that question. It's actually based on the same material used in the cork gaskets of like a Triumph TR6 engine. Look it up.
Well, no, I was going to suggest that because
ages ago about the fact that the dome must be spinning on fucking enormous bearings somewhere on the earth. And did God put the bearings there? Did he grease them himself?
No. I think we're all missing a trick, and it comes in a tiny mistake he's made in his name, because he says sealed ball bearings, but I would actually say it's seal ball bearings. The dome is it is carried by ball bearings, but it's not sealed. They're actually made of baby seals.
Penguins.
But they weren't clubbed. Jesus. Oh, no.
What he's basically saying is it's greased by the blood and the guts of dead seals.
Because they bring their own lubricant.
Right.
Oh,
lovely.
Just shove.
Wow.
Just shove a few penguins in the crack. That'll seal her up.
Seriously, do not put penguins in your crack because they struggle around a bit. You know, it's fun at first, but it gets a bit messy.
You tried it.
Did you ever see one of those things with his mouth open? God damn, that's scary.
Precisely. You don't want that anywhere near your crack.
No.
Some things belong in the anus. Penguins are not one of them.
Name
How the hell does this happen?
I don't know.
So Blue, any plans for another grandiose build like Cavendish coming up in the future? Like, is there a master plan going forward? Maybe going to go for a Dyson sphere this time or something? You know?
Yeah, there was no plan to begin with. What the hell? I'm just making it up as I go. I don't know. I have no idea. I have a strange desire for some reason to do Cavendish again. Only a little bitty one in a vacuum or something.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't do it in a vacuum. It's a fucking mess.
Sure. I'm just scratching my head.
It's like Carl Sagan said, if you want to make an apple pie from scratch, you have to first invent the universe. That's going to be Blue's next project.
Yeah. You know, just in case humanity needs a second universe to move into as this one slowly fades and dies, Blue's got us covered. Just give him another couple of months here. No worries. A skill saw and a 2x4. It's all good.
Either that or a damn good apple pie. One or the other.
Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry.
Well, I figure I've already set science back a good 100 years, so maybe I should quit while I'm behind. I don't see my value. I don't see my value of G replacing what we're using today.
No, but it's not about. I think I cut you off there a bit, AB.
Sorry. What did you end up calculating for G?
Lots.
6.32.
6.32.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's not too bad. What's your uncertainty?
Let's see. I have to pull up something here to have a look at it. Standard deviation was 0.274.
0.27. Sorry, and what was your nominal?
6.632.
Okay. So you're right. Yeah.
Pretty good. 95% confidence intervals. Like
that's pretty decent.
7.9 times 10 to the minus 13th.
Yeah.
Coefficient variation 4.31 or 13.
Nice. So yeah, you did the thing. And you did an e-garage. Yeah.
That's a competent build. I mean, you gotta say, right? You know, for sure.
I'm telling you, that's a damn difficult thing to measure.
Must have been insanity. Like the precision, the patience. You must be a patient man.
No, it really is. It really is difficult to measure. I mean, this fucking thing is it's a rite of passage, right? I've actually never had to do it as an undergraduate, but I have instructed hundreds of undergraduates now to do it. But and most of them failed. Well, not most of them. A significant portion of them failed. And that is considering the fact that the apparatus was already built and it uses high precision lasers and all of that shit.
Yeah.
It uses equipment that you can expect to run in your garage. and most of them, well, many of them will still fuck it up. Most of them won't get too conclusive a result. But yeah, it's actually very few that get anywhere near as close as that.
It takes a great deal of effort.
Yeah.
I would like to have known how you got the full balls to have be absolutely equal mass, because I can imagine. I don't know who you got them from. I mean, did somebody make them for you for that with that particular weight or in each one?
They're just lead. They were lead fishing weights, and they were not the same weight, the same mass when I got them.
I'm sure they were.
So I did the manly thing and took the heavier of the pair and trimmed it down a bit, basically just by sanding on it using really rough grit, coarse grit sandpaper, which will take that lead off pretty. I found that to be the easiest way of doing it. And
I would say the easiest way of doing it is just mass error propagation.
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, but you would say that. He's a hands-on guy, so of course he's going to balance them out.
I'm an experimental physicist. Come on.
Yeah, true enough.
I know how to grind. I know how to grind. Come on.
And I've heard you go on about the theoretical side of things on more than one occasion. So I do know very well your position.
Well, you try to align onto a 30 nanometer wide object.
I can barely get my head around the gap. Are you kidding?
We know he's experimental because he was talking about midgets earlier.
Oh, God, here it comes. But yeah, I mean, like 30 nanometer, unless you're like, participating in that world on a, semi-average, if not average basis, at least. I mean, how do you even quantify that to the layman? Like to me, I just really small. Yeah. Fuck. See?
There is another reason why I joined the show a bit late, because I wanted an explanation from AB. AB, he'll know what I'm talking about. I want to hear more about the semen stain on the pool table. I'd like to hear a bit more about that.
The semen stain on the pool table.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, fuck, so here we go.
For those who know, there's a famous photograph of Einstein and Marie Curie walking. They're walking somewhere, and so there's a thing I followed for a while because Twitter has these topics, right? And I thought, oh fuck it, I'll follow the physics topic for a while, and I was just getting bullshit, and I was just getting pretentious wank, and there was this photo that popped up in my feed. And it said, "Oh, Einstein and Marie Curie, disgusting on a walk in the countryside or something." And I just thought they're trying to make it sound profound, but quite frankly, at that point, the last conversation I had with a serious physicist involved come on the green belts on the pool table, and it was just a conversation about undergraduates. So the physicist I was talking to during his PhD was so as an undergraduate you have kind of there's a kind of contact you have who's available to you 24/7 in the hall if you need help and stuff like that, and that's usually a PhD student. So the guy who I was talking to, he was that guy, and they had a pool table in there, and one of the undergraduates had sex on the pool table late at night, and of course ejaculate and stuff ended up all over the pool table.
Because where else does it go?
Precisely. They admitted to it, but and they decided to test whether it was a problem. So they racked up, for a standard pool game and doing the initial thing, and full pelt, tried to hit all the balls and everything and get a game going, but found that about halfway down, the white ball got stuck.
Oh,
there's so many innuendos in that. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and the thing that annoyed me about the tweet is it's about this perception of like, physicists together, we talk about all this, all this high-minded shit. It's like, no, seriously, we talk about dumb shit like come on the pool table. And we're people, for fuck's sake. Don't.
No, you're not.
Fuck you. But it's one of my things, and it's like if you think about shows like like Big Bang Theory, right? Portraying physicists in a certain way. It's like that's not what we're like. We're just normal people.
Lizards. You're all lizards.
Yeah, we're all lizards, but we get shit-faced and we do stupid shit and have stupid conversations. So yeah, that was the whole point behind it. But that's the common label.
Yeah.
So do lizards suck their own cocks?
Oh fuck! Jesus,
I'm muting.
They probably do. But they take them off first and then grow a new one.
But DK, did you mean like real lizards or the lizard people that are actually in control of the world?
Hey, a lizard is a lizard, I mean, sure.
Well,
they're the same thing,
We don't suck our own cocks. I've got high vacuum applications. And vacuum grease is a surprisingly good lubricant.
Well, now we know what AB gets up to in the laboratory late at night.
But you try and subject your penis to 10 to the minus 7 millibar.
So are you stretching your back and your neck, or are you pulling your scrotum up?
Dude, can you imagine the guy from Requisitions comes into AB's lab, another 17 gallons of lube?
Yeah, when he's in that position.
Yeah, you wait for the big fairness man to come and pry him off.
At this kind of pressures, your cock would literally boil.
Oh, that's not something anyone wants to hear.
No. It would literally boil.
Oh, that's like the hot dog that was cooked too long. Nobody wants that, man.
Yeah, your Pornhub sucks.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit I don't put in my OnlyFans. Nah, that's not right.
My only scientists.
Jin in the chat, I've got to get the contract to supply AB with lube.
Oh, good God.
Oh, that's awesome. So, what the hell? Most of this evening has been crazy, so we should probably cap it off with something like Blue. Tell us a story of, when you're stupid searching through YouTube, what have you found? Like, I mean, we found, midgets and grannies there. What have you found when you're looking around?
I'm embarrassed to even talk about it after what you guys have come up with. Jesus Christ. Makes my stuff look friggin' normal. Gee.
I wish ours was, to be honest.
That's some pretty sick shit, Dawson.
Yeah. That was fucked up. Like throwing midget around like it's just, 1974 or whatever, and talking about it, the whole porn aspect of it as if it was just, oh yeah, everybody knows this, no big deal, blah blah. I mean, I'm sorry, dude, but it's just not the first thought when I wake up in the morning. What the hell is wrong with that guy?
Are you trying to say that midget porn is not your first thought in the morning? What's wrong with you?
Jesus.
I go back to what I said a while ago. If that made his bucket list, I want to know what was the next thing on the list.
Yeah. That was an awesome comment.
I think we already
totally
established. Right. I think we already established that was fucking a dolphin in the blowhole.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, because everybody needs to experience that in life. No, wait. No, it's everybody should drive a V12 car once in their life to experience the smooth application of power. I'm just saying something to erase the whole thought. Yeah, oh, geez. Yeah, the poo shoots are taking it again.
Oh, fuck's sake. You lot are so wrong.
I would like to bring this to a point from Pajama Pants. They're talking about lizards. He says they might not be lizards, but entities have been known about for centuries. People with schizophrenia hear them. It's plausible, so they can be the leaders. Not saying it's a definite, but plausible. Now,
grab people.
Yeah.
Grab people.
It's one of those
he doesn't understand the difference between plausible and fiction. You can write whatever you fucking like. That doesn't mean it's plausible. Harry Potter is not plausible. It's fiction. You fuckwit.
How would you know? Dun dun dun.
Yeah, how many
Let's
hours?
Get Aimee
Super chat here. Prime super chat.
Sure.
Yeah,
this
totally.
is a good one. You want to read this one?
You wrote no last name for Dawson. If you're a lizard alien flexible enough to sock on your own deck, then why even invade Earth at all?
That's a good one. Thank you so much.
Well, to be honest, I can easily answer that. It's the same reason why you sit on your hand for a few minutes to make it all go numb, so it feels like someone else is doing it. I suppose their equivalent, instead of sitting there on their own hand, they go to another planet, commit genocide, and then it feels like someone else is doing it.
Well,
hence the Nazis.
Men seem to talk about this way more than women. I don't know why. You guys have a real thing about your willies for some reason.
It's far more normalized for females to have vibrators than it is men to have a fleshlight.
Okay.
No, that's true. And I'm sorry, but Willie is not the answer. I named him Richard.
Okay.
But there's the other side of it. It's far more normalized for men to talk about masturbation than women. So there's a hierarchy, isn't there? So it's far more normalized for men to talk about masturbation than women, but it's far more normalized for women to talk about dildonics than it is for men.
Dildonics?
I've seen that film. It's good.
Dildonics.
Also, Mipet has ferrets. Say no more.
Yeah, I just can't go anywhere after that.
And also, I don't know if you notice as well, is that when women admit when they masturbate, right? It's liberating, right? But when men do it, they're perverts. Why is that?
Well, in the Victorian period,
I ain't touching that.
In the Victorian period, it was quite normal for, like, I'm air quoting, doctors to massage the vaginas of women to release them of the demons inside.
Yes, but that's because
from hysteria.
There were people in power and sexual predators. but one has to recognize that now, unless it has changed and something older has been found, the oldest human artifact we have found was a dildo.
Yeah, it was using a man.
Yeah, it was used for a bit of pegging.
Jesus.
I mean, we're talking about we're talking about progressive ideas and everything, and we have this illusion. We have an illusion that it's a linear progression. That we're just getting more and more progressive over time. But yeah, it could very well be that they were pegging each other back then.
Yeah. The thing is, the female orgasm was like a myth.
Oh Jesus! Okay. Everybody watch for hands up in the Google Meets here. Barman's been waiting, and then we got Blue.
That's right. Just the quick one for why are men perverts when we talk about masturbation, because we've invented things like granny porn and fucking midget porn, so of course we're fucking perverts.
I knew there was an answer like that, Barman. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, there's been very, very, very few things in my life that I was absolutely certain about. But the first time I did that, I was absolutely certain I was going to do it again.
I knew that was coming. Awesome. Well, hell, we don't call it pub chat for nothing, folks. What the actual hell? So,
last orders at the bar, please. Last orders at the bar.
Yeah. Who else is stroking what? I mean, Jesus, now I'm confused. I think I'm flaccid. Is that the word?
Well, that's not normally a state I would associate with confusion, but it's also not a state I would associate with clarity.
It's also an age thing. It happens to all of us, Dick. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not a pill popper yet, so it's all good.
As I say, DKG, speak for yourself.
So we haven't done like an after show in a while, and there was a little chat in the green room back there who, there were some of us thinking, we're not in a rush, we don't have to actually stick to time if we don't want to. So anybody want to keep going and, never mind wrapping it up?
Yeah,
or,
you sent Gary Werbanger the link, and maybe you should send Pajama Pants a link. I mean, he's a scaredy pants. He won't come in, but
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
well, we'll get Gary in. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10
midgets,
11, 12 pints. So we can get Gary in.
You filled 12 pints over this show. Jesus Christ, how much you come?
Huh?
Hard.
I come hard, my friend.
But there is, when inviting outsiders onto the channel, though, we do have a few new rules about like personal insults and stuff due to some encounters that did happen recently. So they will
seriously,
be.
I can't call them a dumb cunt.
Well, you can. It's just that nobody's taking it the other way. Yeah, we had an instance when Gary was on last, and Blue was actually here, and Gary was a little disparaging, and so there will be a little bit of enforcement to make sure, because there are lines. I mean, if you want to say you're a dumb motherfucker because you think the earth is flat, well, I'm sorry, that's just honest. But if insults come the other way that are very personal and stuff, and not just attacking the flat earth side of stupidity, there's a line there, right? So,
so basically we are saying like insults are fine, but legally actionable accusations or
No,
not.
no. What they're saying,
Yeah, yeah.
saying is they can't have a go at you, AB, for loving grandma midget sex.
Well, no, because I think you'll find that under some arbitrary, I can't be asked to carry on that joke that much. You'll find out this is the protected characteristic, right? Look, I enjoy short people. I enjoy grandmothers. Right? There's nothing like a good session afterwards and getting some Weathers original.
PJCnet saying something about us needing a. No, PJCnet, they're is saying something about us needing a disclaimer at the start and in the description. No, we actually don't. It's our channel and we can do whatever the fuck we want. That is the honest truth.
What would we just be disclaiming about? We are drunk people. We will say shit.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man.
It's called fucking pub chat. What more do you want, you twat?
Yeah, I got nothing either. You know, I don't know, but it's a funny comment. So I had to
He's
call
gonna
it out.
spend a lot of time talking about cum.
I'm not surprised you got 12 pints of it to clean up.
Oh, so let's see. Where are we then? We've covered masturbation. We've covered toys. I mean, where do you go from this? You know, I think we need fluffy kittens or something. No. I'm trying to get us back around to something that's a little bit more normal.
Why? When have we ever been normal here?
It never. It doesn't happen.
Normalcy is overrated anyway.
Yeah, you'll get no help from me.
Although I can't hang around for an after show, guys, so I'm gonna say ciao for now, and I will see you tomorrow for the silly Shill show. And
awesome.
Had a great night. Thanks, guys. But,
have fun, Mipet. See you soon, honey.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Have a good day.
Cool. Take it easy. That's such a Canadian thing to say, too. I swear to God, there's so many similarities between Australians and Canadians. It's crazy. We like barbecue, beer, and we say a few of the same things, and that's about half of our life. Yeah. So,
both Commonwealth nations, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, works.
So I have noticed that Gary is in the chat.
He is.
Yeah. Gary, check your PMs. I sent you the link.
Come on and join, Gary. Gary, and share us your stories of
masturbation.
Well, a fucking
midgets. Oh, we're in so much trouble.
With who? I mean, we're talking about cum. It's a healthy path of life.
Why do you think his name is Gary? Why bang her?
Hey.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm not going to go and extend that joke any further. I shall be right back. I must cool myself before I throw out personal insults.
He's going to rub himself down with a frozen midget.
Oh, I was trying to load up my soundboard because I got a couple of sound clips that would have been perfect for that, and it keeps just crashing. So, you know, I was going to put the Wheelum scream in there and then a big fart underneath it at the same time. It would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, that would have been brilliant.
Damn. Oh, well, technology fails me today. What are you going to do? Excuse me.
Oh, talking quiet.
I had a big beer burp and nobody wanted to hear that. We just got the approval for ages 5 and up to get vaccinated now.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So, I hope everybody jumps in quick and gets it going on. I mean, my son's 14, so we got vaccinated together. It was no big deal. But in the townhouse complex that we live in, there's quite a few young ones. And we have one in isolation right now. So the kids aren't playing outside the way they would normally be doing. It's fucked everything up. And it'll be really, really good when everybody can get their thing done. But this is going to be the moment where we find out if there's any anti-vaxxers in the complex that we didn't know about.
Oh, there you go.
Right? Because the chatter will be all about whose kids and stuff, right? Nobody, there's a few little subgroups within the townhouse thing that all, chat and hang out and stuff. But there wasn't a big conversation about who actually got vaccinated or didn't. The only conversation there's ever been was, everybody be as careful as you can because then we have a protected little thing where the kids can play. Well, that just got blown because we got one in isolation now. And they just announced the vaccinations, so we can finally, but for sure the conversation of which kids are vaccinated will come up, and then there's going to be some. So my thought is, and sure, it might dox my location and whatnot. And even, the fact that my name isn't really Dick or whatever, because, that's probably how it will go with somebody. But if there is an anti-vaxxer in here who doesn't get their kids done, I'm going to do an interview for sure. I'm doing it.
Yep.
It has to be done.
Have you seen the fact that a lot of governments around the world now are just like giving up on the whole anti-vax movement, and they are locking them down and saying, if you're not vaccinated, fuck off.
Yeah.
What was it?
Austria's done it.
Came out today, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, Austria did this thing where he's saying that if you're not vaccinated, you are in lockdown. You've got to stay in your house. You can't go out. You can't go to venues. But they have recently change that to a fucking major national lockdown because it's getting out of hand over there. But a lot of countries are just saying, if you're not vaccinated, fuck off. And this is going to be quite interesting with the anti-vaxxers because they're not going to like it.
No, they're not going to. No, and I've noticed that too.
Well,
one of the issues I've got
you
with
must have
it,
seen it on Gen Panda servers.
one of the things I've got about these things, like, okay, so I'll be straight up, I'm kind of against the whole idea of vaccine passports and stuff like that, provided they're okay, provided that the correct provisions are in place. Right, it's something that we can't accept or reject out of hand. It is something we have to carefully consider. But it is going to work because these anti-vaxxers, they like to talk and be your big shot. But when it comes to, I can't go and get a pint in the Wetherspoons. They will fucking get the shot. Because as soon as they are slightly inconvenienced for their ideals, they will comply.
No, they won't. They will stand outside the Wetherspoons.
Well, no, because the evidence is already there. Because we had so many people when what was it? Healthcare workers in the US. We had so many people saying it's like, oh no, I will refuse. I think it was just quite a large number of them saying I will refuse and I will quit my job and blah de blah de blah de blah de blah. But actually, it was only a handful that really quit their job. The rest of them just got the fucking jab and got on with it.
in Austria, where they were pushing it, there has been a large uptake in the vaccine, of people taking the vaccine because of the government, what's the word? The government. I can't think of the fucking word. I'm getting
mandating it and just saying, well, if you want to do this fucking thing, get a vaccine. Yeah, you will see a large uptick.
But they're locking them down, man. It's good.
Yeah, because
it's good.
There's something I like to call I like to call it the fetishization of punk.
You're so fetished.
Yeah, I'm so fetished. But it's the idea that people like the kind of anti-establishment aesthetic of being punk.
Yeah.
But being against the system, but they're not really willing to take a stand. They're not really willing to kind of make any sacrifices for their ideals, because what they really mean with their freedom and stuff like that, it's I want to have all my rights and I want to have all my privileges without any of the responsibilities. And as soon as they realize that some of these privileges are conditional upon some responsibilities, then of course they'll take it and they won't think twice about it. Right? Because
100%.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to argue when your vaccine status interferes with your rights to, say, access to healthcare, access education, and things like that. But of course, we have to consider other people's right to a safe environment and everything. But it's a complex issue.
I think it's wrong to force people into this situation. But when a lot of these people have got the wrong information, and they're basing their avoidance of the vaccine because of idiocy on Facebook, then fuck them.
Yeah, but it's also their personal choice.
Dick's got his hand up.
Yeah. I just finished that last point, is that they have a choice and that choice should be respected. But on the other hand, them making that choice removes the ability for other people to make that choice, because their choice to not protect themselves endangers others, and the other people do not have a choice in that. So, yeah. Anyway, Dick.
Yeah, so in Canada here, it was just in the press, I think it was yesterday, a couple of people took their anti-mask BS all the way to the Supreme Court over human rights. And the end result was not good. They got their asses kicked because they couldn't show that they had a reason not to have a mask on, but the accommodations made by the shops in the event that happened had made it very clear that you can still shop online. And if you like, we have curbside pickup. If you want, we can, bring and show you things from in the store, at the door and whatnot. They made ample opportunity to accommodate the person. But the person was obviously there just for confrontation, and it completely lost. The human rights angle was squashed Supreme Court style in Canada. And so it's null and void now. And it's a great thing because they can finally stop, getting people to think, yeah, maybe it is and whatnot. One angle of the bullshit has been killed. And a couple of another thing is I think it's British Columbia, but it might be Canada as a whole. Legislation is being drafted right now that protests are now no longer able to be done at hospitals and schools.
Yeah, you see, I do have a problem with that. I have a very distinct problem with that. It's like their motivations may be there, but we've got to remember that we legislate on the basis of precedent, and if you are going to restrict the right to protest, then I'm going to have an issue with that.
I don't in this way because of the way they're doing it. The only restriction is you cannot have a protest on the property of the school or hospital. You can be across the street, no problem at all.
Yeah. Then you're fine. Then you're fair game.
Yeah, but what we had was we had protesters enter elementary schools, and we had protesters inhibiting ambulances getting to the damn doors.
Oh no, you can't fucking do that. But the other point I wanted to the other point I kind of wanted to raise is about irony, right? Because these people are, one of the big lines around it is about my freedom, my choice, my freedom, and all of that. And this whole movement stems from this kind of free market ideology. That government should not interfere with business regulations and, with how businesses conduct business, but then they start whining when the free market says, no, thank you. You can fuck off. Don't shop at my business.
Yeah. And that's another side, business, owners are not subject to some, free for all laws. Amy's been waiting.
Me, sorry, stupid mute button.
There we go.
As far as restrictions on where people can protest, there's a reason for that, and we actually here in the United States, we have the First Amendment where you have a constitutional right to protest. However, no freedom is absolute, and there are places where you can't, and especially in the U.S. where we've had issues with security at schools and things like that, you can't protest it in front of entrances at schools. And that's not a restriction on anybody's rights. And if you're blocking away, like for ambulances and stuff like that, that's also restricted as well. You can't do that. It's just, if you're restricting access to like the hospital entrances, like, ERs and things like that, you can't do that either. That's
a key point that you have to remember is that the First Amendment, it starts off with Congress shall pass no law, right? And the First Amendment is about the fact that the government cannot restrict you from free speech and all of that, practice religion and stuff like that. But it is under no obligation, and no private company is under any obligation to provide you a fucking platform.
Well, exactly. And that's my whole point too. It's not absolute. I don't care what anybody tells you. It's not absolute. Your freedom.
But it even goes further than saying that freedom of speech is absolute. It just because even if you're going into that detail, you're already kind of losing the point, because even if freedom of speech were absolute, there is still no obligation for anyone to provide you a platform for freedom of speech.
Well, here's the
because they're not the government.
And Aimee, isn't this the other side of that whole argument in the U.S. as well? These people claiming that these things give them the rights and so on and so forth. Well, don't they apply to the business owner as well to make their own decisions then?
Well, the business owners own the platform. So
yeah. If
they're not the government, they don't make the laws that govern the whole country. So of course they're not going to.
Right. But I mean,
their property, they can.
Yeah, because
run it as they
the first
like
line
these
in the First Amendment, the first line is Congress shall pass no law. That's it. And that is the limitation in which you have to consider it, right? No law can be passed restricting your free speech. But a business saying you can fuck off, there's no law being passed. There's no Congress involved. That is a private company. And we've already established through legal precedent that a corporation has personhood. And that the way a corporation spends money is actually an expression of free speech.
Exactly.
So we've already established that a corporation has the exact same rights as a human being.
Exactly.
Right. That's my point.
That's the whole point. It's like a property issue as well. Like I can say, if someone comes into my home and starts throwing around the R word, I can restrict that. I can say, you're not saying that. You can go out in the street and say it because you're not on my property. But in my home, that's not allowed. You're out. And I can do that.
Fuck right off.
Yes, because it's my property. I'm not the government. I'm just a single person. I'm just a single entity who's renting a place. So I can make the rules as I see fit in that place.
Well, it's
a totalitarian regime because it's just a kid too. So
which is like having guests round and come to your house and you take your shoes off. It's as simple as that. That's all it means. Can you take your shoes off? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had an actual. I had a similar thing in my house last night, and somebody that was over for a visit ended up leaving because there's a line and you don't cross, right? That's just it.
Yes.
What? No midget grandmas in your house?
No, Dick, I told you last time I came to visit, you can't tell people they have to wear suspenders when they come in. It's not on.
Yeah.
Not everyone owns a nice pair.
Well, they have to in my world. But it's true. A good pair of suspenders really keeps you from posting your pants all the time. I guess that's what they're for. But if you go back here a tad, these guys preach all of this BS about how they're protected to be able to do what they want. Well, if that's the case, then why do you think the person trying to kick you out of their store doesn't have the same fucking protections? How do you think that you're superior? How does that even work? If you really live by this code or ethos or whatever it is of, I have the freedom to blah, blah, and so on and so forth, how come it doesn't apply to everyone?
Well, that's because you have to remember that these people are part of an entire political ideology that has entirely lost, right? They have no leg to stand on anymore. They have their ideology has been completely demolished. They're relying on a free market, which has been constantly demonstrated that it doesn't work. There have been more. They've been operating on a set of principles around social order and how society should be structured that doesn't work. And all they have left is this cancel culture bullshit and just getting upset about and getting angry about all of that stuff about what their political opponents are doing. And it is perfectly encapsulated with what Mitch McConnell said about the Obama administration. Is like, whatever they're suggesting, it doesn't matter what they're suggesting, we are going to oppose it because they're the opponents. That's the situation we're in. We have an entire group of people who define themselves by being against what their political opponents are saying. And that's what this all comes down to.
Good call.
There's no room for nuance. There's no room for actually considering what you're saying and this is why you're in a position where people can be hypocritical. They can say, I have the rights to do this, but you don't have the same rights. They can be because hypocrisy doesn't matter anymore. We can go to our opponents and point out that they're hypocrites, but hypocrisy to them, it doesn't matter. It's no longer a blemish on their record. It's a fucking tool that they use to their advantage. It's something that they exploit, and they're fucking proud of it.
Yeah,
right? This is the situation that we are in, and
it's bullshit.
That is why we're fucked.
Loki's got his hand up here.
Well, AB mentioned earlier, punk. And I go back to like Dead Kennedys and stuff like that. So a lot of the political punk movement, the anarchist movement and stuff like that.
I love that era.
Oh man, even back then, oh yeah, anarchy, do what you want, do what you want. But you know what? If you get your ass kicked, well, hey, that's part of anarchy. That's part of reality. You can say what you want, but hey, doesn't mean that everybody else has to put up with it. And, and that evolved into a more established political movement that, hey, everybody has their rights and everything, but everybody's responsible. And then it continued to evolve and turned more into, and I put it in the chat, Dead Kennedys, give me convenience or give me death. That's what it's turned into. Yeah. And it's complete bullshit.
It was the same growth happened out of the beatnik movement before. Same thing.
Yeah. The exact same thing.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame because, you still got like Jello Biafra doing his spoken word and a lot of other, old school punk doing their thing and going, what the hell's wrong with you people? This isn't what I was talking about when I was doing music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta recognize that punk was very quickly. I mean, just being esoteric and talking about the punk movement, it was very quickly absorbed by capitalism.
Unfortunately,
I suppose you have to recognize that each of those anti-capitalist movements quickly become capitalized, and I disagree with the concept on many levels, but that's mainly because I think most of it is just bullshit. But you do have to kind of consider the whole concept of the spectacle, right? Where even anti-capitalism will be absorbed into the spectacle of capitalism.
Nice.
And it is a trend that you'll see over and over again. I mean, it's even a trend that you saw, we saw last year during the George Floyd protests, with so many brands and stuff like that jumping on board and putting incorporating a BLM flag into their Twitter handle and all of that bullshit. It's like, that's fantastic. That's great that you're showing outward support, but are you actually going to structurally change anything? It's great. Amazon is going to go, oh yeah, well, Black Lives Matter and inequality and blah 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 blah. Yeah, when are you going to make when are you going to allow your workers to unionize, for fuck's sake?
Yeah,
because,
there you go.
What you're doing right now is illegal.
It's fucked up. that whole thing is fucked right up. It's that's a whole other can of worms. I'm not sure we should do it, but I mean, seriously, desperation shouldn't be taken advantage of. It's bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
and it happens more often than we realize too.
We're in a because I mean, even if you look at like the QAnon movement, right? What are they against? They're against, okay, so let's strip away all the batshit crazy stuff like pedophile, blah, 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 and all that, and all the baby blood drinking and all of that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Let's strip away that. What are they against? They're against rich and powerful, quote-unquote, globalists, read anti-Semitic bullshit, right? They're against that and exploiting the common man. And then they're in a position where they're saying it's like, well, it's all these socialists that are the problem. It's the socialists like Bill Gates or Bezos or whoever. It's like, have you really thought about this for a fucking second?
Well, that's it right there. Then they, don't touch my Social Security. Don't take away the fire department and the police departments. But everything's socialist.
Yeah.
And socialism equals bad.
Socialism equals bad.
But it's not. Trust me, I know.
Yeah, some very good points within socialism.
Right. If you have a hybrid
we perhaps
system,
should incorporate in our system. But the irony is that they're saying socialism bad, and these are the evil socialists, and then they're listing fucking billionaires. And you're like, have you missed the point? But that's the issue, right?
Yes.
It's because they've identified with a particular team because it's team sports, and their team has lost. Right?
It's so partisan. It's so partisan.
That team has lost, and they've got this bullshit. They're attaching to this bullshit narrative, which is not even internally consistent. This bullshit narrative where they can claim that, where they claim that, Bill Gates is a socialist, and the socialists want you to take their vaccine to take communist control or whatever the fuck.
Nano chips.
It's fucking mental. But because
seriously mental.
They are no longer reliant on an internally consistent and a valid framework on which they can base their worldview. Fucking anything goes. You can stand in fucking Dallas thinking that JFK Jr. is going to show his face.
Jesus Christ. I want to address this defund thing for a second here, okay? So, fellow babies, I was a musician for a bunch of years, and I spent like a good part of my life like on little tours and road trips and all kinds of stuff, right? Been all over North America, played music in all kinds of places. And I can tell you from firsthand experiences, playing some of the more seedy areas of different cities in North America, that defund the police is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. You gotta be fucking stupid. What you need to do is it is. Let me finish. What you need to do is fund them more so they have better training to deal with situations properly. When you get into a hardcore situation in a downtown section, you want those fucking tough guy police. Let me fucking tell you. But at the same time, they need better training and whatnot to understand the situation they're in. Right now in the city that I live in, our mayor is pleading to get the tax rate up a couple of percent. And we have a lot of ritzy folks in my area, so it shouldn't be a fucking problem. Because our RCMP, our Canadian police, are so overwhelmed, we need more personnel. And they not only need the personnel to do the job properly, but you need enough people trained in situations that come up in modern day life and deal with them properly, not always the jock at a high school that became a cop, heavy-handed response, right?
That's what's needed. Fantastic. That's fantastic what you're saying, because that is exactly the defund of the police argument. Ironically,
it is, but it's not defund the police. It's fund them better to do the job better in the modern world.
Well, because there is a very complex argument around that, because the issue is
situation
defund the police is an easy slogan, right? But if you actually look at the manifesto of the kind of mainstream police abolition movement, what they're saying is let's not have armed strangers walking into volatile, volatile situations where a mental health worker would be better suited. They're not talking about complete abolition of the the police, right? They're talking about a more a socially responsible.
I get that,
policing.
but the slogan is dangerous in public because the uneducated take it the wrong way.
Yeah,
what it should be is reform the police.
Yeah, but the problem is that the slogan "reform the police" has been shouted for decades now, and fucking nothing's happened. And all that has happened is that police budgets have increased. Right, we are now in a situation where the Los Angeles Police Department, right, not just the LAPD, the division that deals with safety in schools, they now have armored vehicles. They have tanks.
For safety at school, the section that handles that.
Yeah,
well,
they have tanks.
If I may, too, I want to, to expand on what we were talking about in the chat, too. We were talking about, how they need to have social workers to respond to, like, in the state of Maine, a lot of the times, if you can't get a hold of the crisis hotline, if when you have like a kiddo like Matt who might be going into crisis, a lot of the times they'll tell you to call the police.
Yeah.
That's wrong. I mean, on so many levels, and seeing that's my issue. And that's why I want to, and that's why I'm fighting so hard for mental health issues in not only in Maine, but in the country, because our record for that is abysmal.
But that just happened, and that just.
I need to finish, please. There was a story where there was an autistic man who ran away from his carer. The police were shooting at him because he's a great big man, and he was sitting in the street playing with his car because he'd had a meltdown. That's fucking wrong. What are we doing shooting at autistic people playing in the street? Why don't we have a mental health anything? You know what I mean? I'm frustrated with this situation. Yeah. Why don't we have somebody who can respond to that better than an armed police officer who was going to just try to shoot him? What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is
because then there's also the training. There's also the training argument, because people say, "Oh well, police officers need more training." But if we remember, there was a high-profile shooting about a year ago, I would say, about a police officer who went to grab her taser. And it was during it, and shot the dude. The problem is that she had just come back from additional training,
and she'd been on the force for a long, long time.
She was on the force a long time, and she'd come back from additional training.
Yeah, but you're assuming the training was actually good and worthwhile, and therefore that hold on. That leads into what I was saying again, is the training the police need. I mean, you Aimee, your situation, you got this autistic man sitting on the road or whatever, playing with his car.
Right.
Anyone with a weekend course in simple recognize mental disabilities and deficiencies and stuff and whatnot would have seen that situation, stood back, had weapon ready just in case the person was just fooling them and playing around, because I mean, again, there is lives on the line here for the police as well. But they could have handled it safely and brought in somebody that knew what was going on. But the simple fact is the training they get is all completely self-defense and evidence gathering. There is nothing in police
not
training.
mental health care workers.
There are very few
simply
important. There's a very important distinction that we need to make right now, right? Dick and I and Barman and we live in countries where the police are established and abide by something called the Pelian principle, and that is an entirely different set of principles because than the police operate by in the United States, right? The core principles by which policing operates are entirely different in the UK and Canada than they are in the United States.
This I didn't know.
Yes, you have to remember that, and I would strongly encourage you to look into Pelian principles of policing and a few very simple concepts. But any police force that abides by Pelian principles, the core principle is that policing is done by the consent of the people, that the authority of the police is drawn from the consent of the people. And that is not the case in the United States. And that's a very important distinction you have to make when you're discussing these topics. And that's why issues such as defund the police do not translate well to different countries. Because
I'll say that
European countries and Canada, they have entirely different issues, right? We do have problems with how policing is done, but we are in a more privileged position where we can say reform is necessary. Whereas in the United States, there's no, its core principles must be changed.
But let's agree, there's always issues with people in power and stuff and whatnot because you can't please everyone. Loki's been waiting a bit here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ugly German Truths mentioned Killology in the comments. And
yes, I was going to bring that up.
Killology is actually one of the reasons why my father stopped training police officers. My father was one of the people responsible for advanced hand-to-hand techniques that are currently used by the Marine Corps, as well as me. He was a civilian officer. And what he taught was basically, you can take down the aggressor, the suspect, without seriously injuring them, except in cases where it's like the guy's high on PCP or something like that. But that's what he taught. It's like, hey, you could just use, a little pin light as a pressure point on a wrist, and you can take down somebody 3 times your size, no problem. And then there was this whole Killology thing started to evolve, and he was like, no, that's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I mean, and he was one of those police officers that got into crap because he would report other officers doing shit that was outside of protocol. And I think that's one of the other things that needs to be addressed is accountability for officers in the U.S.
Yes, yes. I was going to bring up Killology, and because when we're talking about training, right, you have to remember that Killology is a fundamental part of a police officer's training in the US. And Killology is pretty explicit in saying if you're in any doubt, shoot to kill. There's no doubt about, if you're in any doubt, you are justified to kill the person. That's pretty much
that sounds.
It is fucking horrible. But when we're talking about the accountability piece, right, we have to then consider police unions, right? Because a lot of police officers who are involved in quote unquote bad shootings, they will get fired because the higher ups in the police hierarchy will recognize the whole thing and that this is fucked up. Not always, and actually in a lot of cases they absolutely won't. But you're in a position where these people get fired for doing for a bad shooting, but the union will sue them so hard that in the majority of cases, that any disciplinary action taken against a bad shooting will be overturned, and the police officer will be allowed to come back. But the police unions are so ingrained in how the police operate. So if we look at Oregon, for example, we have Mayor Ted Wheeler, who is also the police commissioner and a big wig in the police union. So are you surprised that when people start protesting, that the police can indiscriminately open fire into crowds of protesters, and they can use unmarked vehicles to just bag and tag random protesters off the streets and take them to unknown sites?
AB, I just gotta
do anything about it.
I gotta say quick before you, the way your description is spot on. It's visual. It gives everybody the exact reality they need. It's unfortunate that we're almost conditioned to it, and it's not shocking. That sucks.
Yeah, it is horrible. It is horrible, and
we are so desensitized.
Because the reason why I bring up Oregon is because there are a lot of I've got a lot of contacts over there, and I've watched them being arrested. I have watched them just observing the protests, not engaging in the protests whatsoever, just observing as legal observers, as journalists. I have watched them live when they're just walking down the street, going home, a car pulls up, unmarked car. It was just a rental van from Hertz. They get grabbed and they get dragged into a truck, into that little car, and they get taken away. Right? Because this is what we're talking about when we're talking about accountability. And to myself and to yourself, Dick, in a country where policing is designed in a radically different way, this seems alien. And then slogans like defund the police can sound
that fucks
ridiculous.
My shit up because it doesn't work. But I get the other side of it through the discussion. I love this shit. I was saying in the green room in the back, when we'd be in the middle of a pub chat and we're just screwing around having fun, but then a real topic comes up and look what happens. I love this group, the way that happens. I love it.
I do too. I think it's great. And these are some, anything to do with that can overlap with mental health issues always is one of my passions too. And so, and the policing and the political stuff that comes up, because I do live here, so when it comes up like that, I love this stuff too.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey,
it's
AB,
good.
as far as your friends in Oregon, I was a journalist that was I was a paper journalist that was clubbed during the Nike store number 2 protests in Eugene, Oregon.
Oh wow!
Right before the WTO protests in Seattle.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I saw a lot of that shit. A lot of that shit.
So you are based in Oregon, are you?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. All right. Okay. Yeah, because if you're in that scene, then we probably have many mutuals. But yeah, it's the things I've seen were messed up, and it's the fact that I know these people made it even more messed up, and it's really difficult to deal with.
Has to be, I truly think that quite a bit of BS that the world is having these days on certain topics, issues, and so on and so forth can clearly be traced to social media, because I remember the days, Blue, back me up here, with rotary phones and whatnot, and stupid didn't spread the way it does now. It's unbelievable.
Well, that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. I mean, you got an hour or so of national news at night on network television. And you got a newspaper. You used to read those things.
Yep. Get the odd magazine on a more specialist subject, but again, nothing crazy, right?
Absolutely.
Unless it is Granny.
Oh God, here he is again. Okay, so I was just looking actually, because there was threats of renaming the stream, but nobody did it, because I really don't want Grandma Prawn to be thanks for doing that too, but I don't want that in the title. I just don't.
Oh God, no, we'll definitely get demonetized for that.
Yeah, surprisingly, this stream is still monetized. I can't believe it.
That's a shocker.
I mean, 12 pints of cum.
I remember one time, as soon as I did a gag about Nathan Thompson being the little drip on the side.
Gagging on Nathan Thompson.
No. Hold on. I did a gag. It's a joke about Nathan being the little drip at the sperm bank that goes over the side of the jar. And instead of taking the little spoon and putting it back in, they should have wiped that shit off and thrown it in the garbage.
Yeah, just some fucking Dettol.
Yeah, but that comment alone got the stream demonetized. I checked 2 minutes later on YouTube Studio, and it was boom, yellow. And look what's been talked about tonight. I think DKG must have invaded 2 or 3 different offices with toys there earlier. I don't know what the fuck happened.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So DK, why don't you tell everybody why you're better than everyone else? What did you get?
Well, I'm better than everybody else because I got a MacBook Pro M1X with upspace. Oh my God, it's so sexy.
Wow.
Oh.
And
if it could wear stockings and stilettos.
How much RAM have you got? How much RAM have you got? Come on.
I can't remember. A lot.
Is it more than me?
Potentially not more RAM, but it's unified RAM. Oh,
yeah, unified RAM. Yeah, I've got 5 terabytes
of RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's at work. Come on.
No. Let's be fair. 5 terabytes of RAM is insane. That's. I'll tell you how.
At the moment,
DK,
I've got 36 NVIDIA Tesla graphics cards. Right.
I was just. What's the CPU core count? It must be off the charts.
I think it's about. I think it's around 5, maybe 10,000.
He's just fucking Bitcoin mining. That's all he's doing. Is that a laptop? Is it?
I can.
Yeah. It's the size of a building, but it's a laptop.
Well, I mean, I use it on my laptop, and I mean, my laptop itself is it's a 5-year-old i3 processor with about 4 gig of RAM. It's fucking trash, but it works.
So you have the biggest cock here. Okay,
that's also true.
But it doesn't taste nice. I bet it doesn't taste nice though.
Come on, 6'7" and hunk a squirrel. I fucking heard the stories. Enough.
The midgets will tell you all about it.
Hey, I mean, that's why I go for midgets.
We were talking about height and stuff and whatnot earlier, Blue. I was going to ask you. You're on the taller side of life, aren't you?
What's the size of your penis?
Not particular.
No, Jesus.
5'11". Well, I'm anywhere between 5'8" and 6'3", depending on which convenience store I'm leaving.
That's awesome.
That is. That's funny. Yeah, because I always get those stickers wrong. So.
Yeah, I know.
I was 3 feet tall. I was like, okay, yeah, that's what 3 feet, no.
I'm wondering if Big Blue has measured the forces of gravitation between his balls.
Actually, I have. Yeah. Many times.
No, the other ones.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mess around with the lead ones that much.
Yeah, that's for Mrs. Blue and never fucking mind.
All the midget grandmas.
You again?
Folks, I've had a great time, but I think I'm going to pack it in tonight.
All right, buddy.
Oh, don't leave it on my account.
Oh,
because I bring up shit.
If I thought I could irritate you, DK, I'd stay. But
you like to be serious and stuff. So you go ahead and be serious, and I'll just sit in the background and just whimper come joke and dick jokes. That's all I do. You
seriously,
you're the guys that do actual proper stuff.
Well, I don't know how proper it is.
It's more proper than me. That's all I can say.
Oh yeah, hats off, and all that stuff. I mean,
absolutely.
I'm sitting here drinking beer, pushing a couple of buttons on OBS as if it fucking matters. Come on, hats off.
Yeah, hats off to Blue and people like him. Yeah, fantastic job.
No, hats off to AB and people like him. They do real shit. I just play around in the garage.
I think we've already established that.
Yeah,
I'm on the pool table.
Blue. It was a good shout, but AB actually just goes in there and gets drunk and then, writes bullshit on a paper that nobody understands and justifies another year of income. That's what really is going on. Just kidding, buddy.
And then yarns on for hours about how the peer reviews don't count readily. Oh, have we got a problem? Have we got a problem, AB? Have you got a problem with people who don't like you?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, if I find reviewer 2, he's going to die. Reviewer 2 is going to die.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue, didn't you tell me a story about how you have a login for reviewer 2? Wasn't that yourself?
No, not me.
I had to.
I do have to comment before I run on what AB had to say about the peer review process, because he's absolutely right. I've had to go through that horse shit myself. And I was absolutely appalled the first time that I did that back in the early 80s. It is just a garbage process.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. There has to be a better fucking way. I mean, just...
Wow. There has to be. The problem is it's the same as standardized exams, isn't it? There has to be a better way, but we haven't found it.
Yeah.
We don't know it.
That's the problem. But you were spot on in everything you said, and I totally agree with you. Having done it myself, I know exactly what you mean. Anyway, love being here with you guys. Take care, everybody. I'll see you.
Good night. Take care, Blue. See you soon, buddy.
Bye, man.
Bye-bye, Blue.
That guy's
Good night,
awesome.
Blue. He's amazing.
Yeah. He's cool.
Yeah, I actually I sat through his live streams and watched the entire thing where he was just waiting for the oscillations to die down. Like, that's science. That I love.
Yeah, man.
The problem is, I told him not to bother.
Well, yeah, but damn it, AB, really? You had to do it again?
now, I've watched Grandma Midgets waiting for the oscillations to die down, but that's
but when Grandma Midgets are involved, well, actually, the oscillations die down very quickly because that shit is so exciting.
Hey, you slap once and ride the wave all the way in, baby.
God.
Yeah, maybe I should have kept that to myself. I'm not really sure.
I'm not introducing you to my family.
I mean, normally I'm pretty good, but when there's there's an elderly little person involved, then I'm a 3-pump jump.
Oh God, see how fast we go back to this? It's amazing.
Yeah, only because you brought me back in, so I'll just shut up. I'll just fucking...
No, you're probably right, but again, that's just how the pub works. Barman's the real pub master. He knows how it goes down, right?
Yeah, it's always about porn, cue sticks, and midgets.
Oh dear God. Does anybody have anything that's clean and non-offensive to anyone to say? Because I think that would be a first for our channel.
Kittens are fluffy.
There we go.
I want to hear more from the barman's live.
Oh damn it! My kitten is gone. Where's my kitten?
Hold on, Amy. Kittens are fluffy. That could be offensive to those that always shave that pussy. You never know, right?
That's true. And there are hairless kitties.
And this stream is sponsored.
They're horrible too.
I don't know if anyone has been following my Twitter feed recently. You'll be aware of my pussy. It's very hairy.
Okay, so Loki knows something about hairy pussy too, so we might as well just let it off the chain here now. Oh God, we've gone into specialist porn now. Here we go.
Oh man,
what's new, pussycat? Whoa, what's new, pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah, talking about that. Oh God, my laugh right now.
That's your fucking clue, Loki.
Hey, didn't you just hear me? Hey, talking about that Harry. It's sitting in my lap right now, all asleep and drooling and snoring, actually.
You know what? It's amazing. Loki Fish has pussy in his lap, and yet his breathing and heart rate hasn't increased a bit. Well done, son. I mean, fuck, what am I supposed to say to that? Yeah. Money shot.
No comment.
I think back to 30 years ago when I used to have that kind of thing.
I was going to say, back when you got your first gray hair. I'm one to talk. Never mind.
Oh yeah, they've started happening to me now as well.
Well, I'm looking at the time now. We did the hour extra. You know, are we done? Should we wrap it? What do you think, Aimee? Your call.
What does everybody think? Did we talk it all out? I still want to see that damn MacBook, but okay.
Oh
yeah,
I can switch my camera on, but that's not for this show. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, because I think it's getting late for a when Harry met Sally moment. I think it would be bad. So I better.
I tell you, everything about it is amazing. The keyboard, the touchpad, the screen. I don't give a shit about the little notch. I don't even notice it. It's
I'm sure you don't.
And
fantastic.
The only thing he regrets is that he's got no place to put his dick in it.
No,
it's got that goddamn stupid fucking thing at the top. Hello function buttons, the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, the keyboard wasn't oh, jeez. Oh, they're going
not
to
nice.
fuck off
Not
and
nice.
die.
Oh, stop you Mac haters. It's
It's not a Mac hatred thing. I enjoy a good MacBook, but fuck this new keyboards.
No, it's really nice. It's really nice.
No, the newest one, they went backwards. It's not that stupid butterfly bullshit. It's way better, isn't it, DK?
Yeah. No,
it's
I like
really
the
nice.
keys. I like the keys, but it's just the touch bar bullshit. It's like
the touch bar's gone.
No touch bar. No touch bar.
No,
it's gone.
They got rid of it.
It's gone. It's gone.
Because
It's
I
gone.
liked the idea, but it was not
Muscle
worth
memory.
sacrificing. It was not worth
Yeah.
sacrificing the function keys, right?
No,
exactly.
It was.
It should have been.
It was a
and
brilliant
if you-
idea.
No, but it still has a place. If you look at the Mac fucking laptops, there is a spot for that little dinky thing that did have a purpose to be on top of the function keys. And that's where it should have been all along.
Yeah,
It should have been an extra, and it shouldn't have affected muscle memory because professionals love their shortcuts. You don't fuck with them and you don't move them.
No.
Yeah, because I can absolutely see it. Like, you know, because like, if you're just working off a laptop, using that as a scrub bar or stuff like that, when you're editing music or anything like that, absolutely fantastic. But if you're sacrificing stuff for it, then you're going to run into trouble.
It was also kind of unnecessary because it was a software thing on an additional screen. I mean, if you're going to put that kind of functionality into something, then just have it in the fucking software.
Yeah,
it wasn't really
but
necessary.
But that's my issue with Apple.
It was a great idea that just isn't.
DK, you know where the touch bar should have been? It should have been in a higher priced trackpad accessory that had a screen in it as well.
Yeah,
just like a Stream Deck. That's where it belonged.
Yeah, possibly.
My issue with Apple has just been that they've established them. They had established themselves, you know, before the iPhone came out. They'd established themselves so well in the creative sector, right? You're doing any kind of movie editing, any music production, and that's for me, the important bit. Then you know you go for a little MacBook or you go for a Mac, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But then they gradually started stripping away many of the key things. Like a few years ago, they got rid of the FireWire ports, and then you had to get the Thunderbolt 2 converter. But then they brought out Thunderbolt 3, and they had to get a Thunderbolt 2 to Thunderbolt 3, and then a FireWire to Thunderbolt converter. it was either that or you get very
AB, it
expensive
goes
stock,
even
which was half the price of the fucking MacBook to begin with, which has now been discontinued, right? Because I have a rack of gear which runs on FireWire. Oh baby. But I've got a rack of gear which relies on FireWire. And the moment I upgrade, I've got a 2011 iMac, which I desperately need to upgrade. But the moment I upgrade it, I have to address it because the conversions and all the docks,
I was in the same place, AB. I was in the same place. I had a pre-Sonos 8x8 FireWire 800, blah, blah, this and that. And the cheese grater Intel Mac that I had bit the dust bad with a power supply failure that took the whole thing out. So I go over to Windows and all that gear was fucking useless without, extra cards and blah, blah and whatnot. Yeah. But Apple did that same useless to themselves. They promoted 400 and then 800 so hard. All of us invested in the ecosystem in a professional big way and then got tossed to the curb. That was not cool.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Most Pro Tools rigs.
No one uses FireWire anymore.
Pro Tools rigs. Like people have spent thousands and thousands. Like I've got pre-Sonos interfaces, right? And that's low key, right? I've worked on rigs where we're talking about 20,000-30,000 pounds of hardware connected by FireWire.
Yeah,
which is becoming fucking obsolete.
And it's still, if it was good enough in its day to put music out that was fine for streaming services and FM radio and stuff, that shit is still good gear. But due to port management alone, it's literally about to become landfill. Not cool.
It's
not
about to become landfill. And it's they could just create a convenient set of adapters that would work, but they're refusing to.
Yeah, and it's the same
problem.
Yeah, they're doing the same thing that they do in the cell phone era, where phones are outdated by the operating systems that come out so fast that the e-waste is astronomical. And like I used to say, AB, way back in the day when I was coming up through the audio engineering ranks and through bands and whatnot, I had an Atari ST and it was MIDI'd out with SMPTE tracks so that I had, the time code and whatnot. And I had a Fostex 8-track reel-to-reel and whatnot. And it was the ultimate home studio. And it was the kind of thing that even when it was outdated, it was so useful still. But its outdatedness didn't make it so that it was unusable. It was still fine to use. That's not the case anymore, and that's not fucking right.
Yeah, it's wrong, and they've really fucked over entire industries. But previously, it was an industry that kept their business afloat. But of course, they've refocused to the consumer market. And because the consumer market will, because it will drive up the cost, right? Because to the consumer market, you can put out expensive displays and be attractive to that. Whereas I'm an audio engineer. I don't need a 5K display.
No.
I need a couple
that doesn't help meters and stuff. That doesn't help you at all.
I need a workhorse. I would rather have a shitty display. I couldn't even care if it were. I wouldn't even need an HD display. I would need horsepower and I need ports.
AB, I have I have 3 screens in front of me for all this OBS shit I do for the streaming and whatnot. Each one of them is the 1050 resolution, not the 1080. So they're a slight step down from 1080. But I got 3 of them. And I have more pixels than I know what to fucking do with. I don't play games, so I don't care about refresh rates and blah, blah, and whatnot. Right. All I care is screen real estate and being able to control the things I need to control on the spot. Each one of these screens was sourced from a thrift store for like $7.
See, the problem is, like, Apple try to push forward. It's like when they got rid of the floppy drive. You got rid of the floppy drive. Oh, what are we going to do? No one needed a fucking floppy drive. They got rid of the CD drive. They got rid of the DVD drive. They got rid of all that shit. And yes, I know that people love their technology and the stuff they've got, but they try, not always successfully, to push forward.
Yeah, but here's the problem. To this day, you can still go onto Amazon and you can buy a floppy drive that you can plug into your USB port. So you can buy a super drive and you can plug it into your USB port.
Yeah.
You can't do that for our outdated stuff.
No. There's no little dongle. They don't work.
Wait. You use the word outdated.
Yes, it's outdated, but we have
outdated.
We have a multi-billion-pound industry operating on this stuff. So it's not like it is a functional equipment. Entire industries rely on it.
Yeah. What's happened now is everybody who invested in the ecosphere of the FireWire audio and video interfaces and stuff are now faced with the fact that they can't upgrade the hardware that runs them. They're stuck in that generation now. There's no going forward. And somebody else who's doing like Blender or something.
No, because they've still got the computer. It's still 10 years old. They still can plug it in, and they've still got that 10-year-old computer.
Yeah, but you can't take advantage of modern render speeds, the extra plugins that can be afforded by modern processors and horsepower. It's all gone to you. It's gone.
I can't work on a project. I can't work on a project in one studio and then take my project onto a flash drive, plug it into another studio, and then work on it there, and then take it back to the first studio because it's no longer compatible. I can't convert it back.
It's like saying I can't run my programs from my.
I can run a magnetic force microscope, which was built in the 1980s, on Windows 10.
Okay, cool. Well, then do that.
I cannot run my audio interface, which I bought in 2016 on a computer which was released in 2017.
Yeah. It's fucked up, DK. It's very deep. Yeah.
The creative industry has been fucked over so hard by these design decisions that Apple made that a lot of us are in a lot of real big problems with this. It's either because I need to upgrade my systems that I run in my home studio, but with that I need to upgrade a lot of hardware. And that is restricting me because I am more than happy to buy a new Mac, right? That's fine. I would quite like to. But the thing that hampers me is the fact that I have so much outboard gear, which has
to replace it.
Useless.
And to replace it with the modern stuff is so much more of a commitment than the computer itself. Like DK here, he's a visual guy. So he gets a computer, he loads his software in, he does his shit, he does his render, and his trash can Mac Pro had a render that could do what it could do. Now he's got the new one, right? So I see his opinion. I get what he's saying, but you're not taking into account the, like, you know, even a studio that's even a recording studio that's set up for you know, somewhat affordable rates, the kind of thing that, you know, Drake or somebody isn't going to be going into next week to record, with all the gear that they have provisioned around this whole setup. The cost of upgrading the computer is tiny compared to everything else that supports it. Everyone's fucked.
Yeah, but this is the same thing as saying, like, I've got a Fostex 8-track recorder and saying I can't use it anymore.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
Things will move on. And okay, you still got the computer that will do the thing you want. It will still do everything you need. And it will connect and do everything you want. Okay, so you want to move on, but you have to make the changes to do that.
No, DK, hold on.
Isn't about the issue is not.
There's
an acceptance that changes need to be made.
Okay,
that is fine. A change needs to be made. But it's the it's the speed at which the change has been needed to make. Right?
DK, see it this way. DK, hold on. Look at it this way, DK. Imagine you buy your new MacBook Pro that you got, and it kicks the shit out of the trash can that you had before, which in and of itself is an awesome machine. But it does, except all the footage you need to use and work with on the new one, they're on external drives, and those connectors don't work anymore. So you're fucked. How does it work now? Because that's exactly what we're talking about.
But that's not the case.
It is for the audio guys.
Exactly the case. Yes.
We can't upgrade the computers because we're stuck. They fucked us. And the little dongles, they won't give us the ports back because all the timing and blah, blah, and old FireWire with its throughput and the way it didn't have handshaking and stuff, it's all gone. Doesn't work. Right? So,
Sorry, I'm just
nothing.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
laughing in the background at this. You guys are talking FireWire and stuff like that. Astronomy mounts didn't get USB until like a year or two ago.
Yeah, that's true.
We all run serial gear.
Yeah. I've got I'm trying to escalate my setup into the, I've got an EQ mount and whatnot, and I got the little old school motor where I have to set the speed just right to try to track things. So I'm not doing any long exposures, right? There's no way, but it still works well. I'm trying to get to that next level coming up, and it's funny. It seems to be so outdated.
But you'd be surprised how many folks in like the astronomy world would use gear that, for like AV guys and sound guys, stuff like that, would look at and go, where the hell did you find that? In a dinosaur pit somewhere?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's you're in a situation where you've got resources, you can adjust it, but also what comes in from your telescope, right? In those systems, that goes into a DAC, and that's a simple thing to upgrade. And you're in a professional environment, right? And as I said, like I'm running a magnetic force microscope, which was built in the 80s, and I'm running that on a Windows 10 computer, and it is absolutely fine. It works.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's previously been gear, like for example the floppy disk or the DVD drives, where even though these things have become obsolete so long ago, you can still go and buy kit that will allow you to use these formats.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas when we're talking about recording studios, that we've been relying on a format, and for a few decades we've kind of built that up, and we've invested a lot of money into that. And then Apple got rid of that format, then brought out some GP adapters for a very short time.
Yeah.
That are no longer available. And within a few years, we've gone from, oh yeah, it's all right, to now you're fucked.
Yeah.
And if you compare that to previous formats where you can, I still have I recently bought a device where I can run 8-track tapes on my computer.
Yeah.
Or
look at it.
That data.
Or look at it
easy.
your way, AB. You can get a cartridge that takes an SD card and you can put it in an old Atari VCS and play all the games, right? There's so much back and forth with formats, and yet this one screws us. But we were talking in the back there. We should probably do a little roundtable wrap up. We've done enough of an after show, I think, now. Aimee, why don't you take over for us?
Sure, we'll do that. All right, so we're going to start out with AB Science. AB,
Come here.
what did you think of this evening, and what were your highlights?
My highlights were... Oh, what were my highlights? I think it is the little spectrogram going on in the background. My big complaints about tonight was that there's just not enough talk about cum.
There we go. That's brilliant. Wasn't expecting that. That's perfect. Thank you very much. And DKG, what did you think of this evening? What were your thoughts about it?
Sorry, I was talking to someone else at the time.
No.
Oh, he's saying night.
Doris.
Danny's saying night to everybody. So fuck you, anti-Apple people. Fuck you. Yeah.
We're not anti-Apple. We're not anti-Apple.
You get left behind. Yeah. So fuck it. I don't care. What was I saying? Oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And I don't know. What were we talking about?
He's stroking it.
Well, no. I'm trying to suck it, and I still can't reach, and so I'm still not gay, so I'm okay.
It's never going to give you a facial, so don't suck it.
And make sure it's not plugged in when you do that, because Drool will short it out.
Depends where you plug it into.
That's true. Plug it into the correct spot.
I think you've got cross conversations going on here, but never mind.
Yeah, USB-C where I put that fucking cord.
USB-C, that fucking stupid thing. Is it supposed to? Does it work both ways round? I can't figure out, because sometimes I plug it in and.
Sorry, is someone complaining about ports on a new MacBooks?
Oh God, here we go again.
It's a weird one. It's a weird one. All right,
Bye. There we go. Thank you very much. And Loki Fish Mars, what did you think of this evening? Did anything stand out to you?
Oh my God. From midgets to peer-reviewed papers, back to midgets, back to grandmas. Oh man, what a night. What a night. Well worth it.
Awesome. I'm glad. And last but not least, Dick Dawson, what did you think of this evening? Was anything that you thought was the greatest part or the worst?
At the end of the evening, all I can say is, thank God I'm not a fuck nugget. And so here's how it works, fellow babies. If you wake up in the morning and look yourself in the mirror and you think to yourself, yes, we live under the dome and Antarctica is the ice wall, you're a fuck nugget. If you walk into a store and you decide that you shouldn't have to wear a mask because yada, 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 you're a fuck nugget. And if you protest in any way, shape, or form restrictions because of vaccinations and stuff in areas where people are actually trying to be like schooled or helped, you're a fuck nugget too. So just don't be a fuck nugget and life will be so much better. Aimee, what are your thoughts and wrap-ups for the evening?
Oh, thank you. This was a great evening. I had a good time talking about everything, and it was good to talk about the current issues of and talk about the current issues of the day and everything like that. So that was good, and it was a great evening. I want to thank everyone in the chat for coming. I want to thank everyone in the panel for coming too. It was a great evening talking about and
Grandma Midget's ex.
And wanting to sniff and lick brand new MacBooks to see what they taste like. That'd be great. And all of that, you got to experience it with all your senses. You know what I mean here?
Yeah. How LGR is that? You got to smell it, man.
You got to smell it. Sniff, sniff. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all have a great evening, and we'll all see you tomorrow for the Silly Shills. Thank you. Good night. Want to say good night?
Good night.
Good night, fellow babies.
Good night. all.
No.
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 No.